and let me know.
Okay.
I'd like to say Shabbat Shalom to all Israel, first and foremost, giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Holy One of Israel, whose name alone is Yah, by saying Hallel-Yah. For those that might just be tuning in, we're broadcasting via YouTube. So if you want to go to YouTube channel and just type in Yoel Israel. If you don't want to be on Facebook, just go to the YouTube and you can pull the show up via that way. Because as I said, I'm going to start streaming via YouTube because I just had too many problems from Facebook. So today you can either watch it from Facebook on your phones, or you can watch it via YouTube on your computers or whatever you may use. Because today I'm going to be dealing with some very vital subject matters that's relevant to our salvation. And some things to talk about, things that good to talk about. So if you would, I'm going to start today's lesson off, and I'm going to let you all know what's going to be the subject matters for today. We're going to be dealing with the laws of uncleanliness. Laws of uncleanliness. We're also going to be dealing with Esau and Jacob. Esau and Jacob. And we're going to be dealing with, does man have free will today? Does man have free will today? And especially dealing with Israel. But we're going to deal with some other things in dealing with that. Or do some people do not have free will? So we're going to deal with free will today. And we're going to deal with staying the hell out of these hospitals. Yes. Staying the hell out of these hospitals. And why? And why? So if anyone have any comments or any questions, just call in to area code 513-546. Yes. Let them know. Area code 513-546-7368. Just call in. Let your voice be heard. And we're also going to deal with the 400 years spoken of in the book of Bereshit. But I'm not going to deal with that. My beloved guest that's going to call in is going to deal with the 400-year prophecy of Genesis. So we're going to deal with the 400-year prophecy of Genesis. We're going to deal with Esau and Jacob. We're going to deal with staying the hell out of these hospitals. We're going to deal with laws of uncleanliness. And we're going to deal with free will. Free will. So let's first, what we're going to deal with first? Let's first deal with the laws of uncleanliness, because it's very important to know. In Shabbat Shalom, Brother Michael Israel, you can watch it via YouTube if you don't want to be on Facebook. Just go to the book of, we're going to get right into it, because every word of Elohim is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. So add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee and thou be found a liar. And we don't want to be found liars, adding or diminishing from the word of Yah. He don't need us to add or diminish to his word. So with that being said, in Shabbat Shalom, Sister Sherry, you can watch, if you wish, via YouTube. So let's go to the book of Leviticus. And this for all those that may be new to this way of life, that are not familiar with the laws, the commandments of the Most High. It's very important. If you go to the book of Leviticus, the book of Leviticus, the 15th chapter. Leviticus, the 15th chapter. Yes.
You got Beulah Israel, Shamaria, Penny Montgomery, Sherry Hearn,
Shabbat Shalom,
and
family.
Shanuka Israel. Y'all say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. My brothers and sisters via YouTube. Shabbat Shalom. So let's start in the book of Leviticus, the 15th chapter, dealing with the uncleanness of man and a woman. And I'm just going to deal with the women today. And we're going to go to verse number, it's going to be interesting when you read this out of older text. And I'm not reading this out of your Masoretic text. I'm reading this out of an older text than the Masoretic text. So we go to Leviticus, the 15th chapter, and it starts off dealing with the issue of a woman. It starts off in verse number 19. It says, and the woman, whoever shall have an issue of blood, when her issue shall be in her body, she shall be 7 days in her separation. Everyone that touches her shall be unclean until the evening. Notice it said everyone that touches her shall be unclean until the evening. And everything whereon she lie in her separation shall be unclean. Everything, bed, couch, everything that she lays upon shall be unclean. And whatever she shall sit upon shall be unclean. Whether it's the car seat, whether it's the chair in the house, or the couch, it shall be unclean. And whoever shall touch her bed shall wash his garments and bathe his body in water. Now, when it speaks about bathing his body in water, it's not talking about just taking what you call today a shower. Running water. Because it's different when you're dealing with bathing and dealing with either water that has been sprinkled upon you or water that's constantly flowing. This time about bathing, submerging your flesh in water. And he shall be unclean until the evening. And everyone that touches any vessel on which she shall sit shall wash his garments and bathe himself in water. See, we might be bathed in today, but how many of us is following the law about washing your garments? Or do we just throw them in a dirty clothes hamper until the end of the week? But he's unclean until the evening. And whether it be while she is on her bed or on a seat, which she may happen to sit upon, when he touches her, he shall be unclean until the evening. And if any one shall be with her, and her uncleanness be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days. Meaning they was cohabitating together. They was getting it on. And in the process, she may have came on early, and some of the blood has gotten on her husband. Well, then if that happened, because a woman menstrual cycle, it can start before her normal time. And if they're engaged in any activity and the blood gets on him, he's unclean then for 7 days. This wasn't something done intentionally, because if a man even approaches to his wife that is set apart from him and attempts to engage in cohabitation with her, that will cause him to be cut off from the Mariyah. The Mariyah, so don't even approach unto a woman when she's put apart for her uncleanness, according to Leviticus, the 18th chapter. But right here it says, if any blood get on him, he shall be unclean 7 days. And if a woman have an issue of blood many days, not in the time of her separation is 7 days, but she's bleeding beyond her 7 days. If the blood should also flow after her separation. All the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. So she flows 8 days, 9 days, 10 days. Once she stopped, those other days count as the days of her separation, which are seven, in every bed on which she lie. All the days of her flux shall be to her as the bed of her separation, and every seat whereon she shall sit shall be unclean, according to the uncleanness of her separation. Everyone that touches it shall be unclean, and he shall wash his garments and bathe his body in water, and shall be unclean until the evening. So I just wanted to bring that out about the issue of a woman cycle, because we're not to do as the New Testament says. Now, if you follow the dictations of the New Testament, it says the marriage bed is totally undefiled. It is totally undefiled. And we know, all of us that study the laws of the Most High, his great commandments, that not only would you defile it if you engage in certain activity, but you can be cut off from that type of behavior. See, I don't adhere to the dictations of the New Testament, because the New Testament is not the word of the Creator. So if you, one of my beloved Christian African-American brothers and sisters, the New Testament is not the word of who you call God, who you call the Most High, or the Ancient of Days. That's not his word at all. He don't speak one mumbling word in that book. So if you're new to this way of life, I'm here to let you know that, first of all, that you Israel. You are Israelites sojourning in the land of your captivity. And you the people that the scriptures speak about, that will be sold unto your enemies, whose names will be changed, whose language will be taken away, who will call themselves by bywords. And that's what African American is. It's not a nationality. That's what Afro-American is. That's not a nationality. No, you cannot go to any other people on the face of this earth and ask them their nationality, and they'll tell you just the name of their continent. And they call themselves European American. No, what type of European American are you? Are you a French American? Or you a German American? Or you an Italian American? They will denote their nationality. But the black man, woman in America, you, who I'm speaking to, you are the only people in the world, and whether you have embraced Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, atheism, you are the children of Israel, and you are the people of the book, Yahweh's chosen people, the mighty Yahweh's chosen people, the mighty Yahuwah's chosen ones. And the reason why you're going through this affliction today and dealing with this, when we get into this virus later, you're gonna boy, I tell you, it's something else. But you're gonna understand why. And the Creator laid down curses that will befall his people in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And regardless, like I said, if you Kemetic, you Muslim, these curses will befall you. It befell our ancestors. It will befall your children. The whole nation of African American Negroes. We are the people. The book validates us, and we validate it. We bring the book to life. We bring the book to life. So with that being said, just dealing with that law of uncleanness. Now let's go to Leviticus to deal with childbirth. Let's go to Leviticus, the 12th chapter. Deal with childbirth. And right here in Leviticus, the 12th chapter, the mighty Yah says, Yah spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say unto them, And it's beautiful. You can turn to the so-called Old Testament and read where the Father actually speak. Not so in a book called the Quran. Not so in a book called the New Testament. Our people been going to church every Sunday looking to find the word of God, searching for the word of God, seeking out God. And lo and behold, when they got the Southern Baptist and New Hope and the Seventh-day Adventist Church and the Apostolic Church and the House of Christ and God and God and the Son of Emmanuel Church, Episcopalian Church, and lo and behold, when they got to the church, they never heard the word of God. They were sitting in every week, every Sunday, hearing what Paul said to the Romans, hearing what Paul said to the Galatians, hearing what Paul said to the Ephesians. And then you want to equate what Paul said and put that up against the word of the mighty Yah? You really want to try to do that in your attempt to prove the Creator wrong? Even Paul had enough sense. Even Paul said, let God be true and let every man be a liar. Every man. And right here in the book of Leviticus, the 12th chapter, it said, and Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, whatsoever woman shall have conceived and born a male child shall be unclean 7 days. She shall be unclean according to the days of her separation for her monthly course. Back to Leviticus, the 15th chapter. So when she has a male child, she's unclean for 7 days. Unclean for what? Unclean for her family. She was put apart for 7 days, even when she had a male child. Then look at this. On the 8th day, she shall circumcise the flesh of her foreskin, flesh of his foreskin. And for 33 days, she shall continue in her unclean blood. Now, why did it say 33 days? She shall continue in her unclean blood, because the body now is getting rid of all of what was left, all the blood that's remaining in her body. And in those 33 days, in that period, leave her alone. And y'all showed me, don't be trying to engage with intercourse with her, because the blood is still, her impurities is still, if they're coming out, they're coming out now. And the life of the flesh is in the blood. The life is in the blood. And you have to give your woman, your wife, not your woman, but your wife, a time for her body to heal. And y'all said 33 days. She shall continue in her unclean blood. She shall touch nothing holy, and shall not enter into the sanctuary. See, we'll be back home in our land. She couldn't come into the sanctuary right after she had the child. Now, many of us today, y'all say he will be a small sanctuary in the countries where we should be scattered. But today, many of us has been to funerals. We have not had the water of purification sprinkled upon us. And we come right to class. After we untouch the grave, after we untouch the dead body of a man, we come right to our congregation or the assembly. But if we was in our own land, she couldn't even approach until 2 weeks. 2 weeks if she had a female child. It said until the days of her purification be fulfilled, if she should have born a female child, then she shall be unclean twice 7 days, according to the time of her monthly course. You see that? And for these words are so small. She shall be unclean for 2 weeks, and she shall remain in the blood of her purification. 66 days, 66 days. So for the male child, it was a total of 40 days, and for the female, 80 days. So I want to bring this forth. Let your wife's body heal. Don't engage in any type of activity because you're horny. No, let her body heal. Let her body rebuild itself. And definitely, you don't approach into a woman that's bleeding. Now that the Europeans is used to doing things like that. One European man said it feels so good that way. Just nasty. Now, where did they get that from? Of course, they got that from the New Testament, who many of you consider the word of God. As I said, the New Testament teaches that the marriage bed is undefiled. You cannot defile it. Do anything with your wife in a marriage bed. Now, I'm not telling no husband and wife what to do. That's between them two. I'm just pointing out the law of y'all. Everything else, I leave that to y'all. I'm just pointing it to y'all. Don't approach unto her when she's put apart for her uncleanness. Now, if Yaakov can wait 7 years for Rachel, but some of you brothers can't wait 7 days. Well, I did stop after the 3rd day. I'm not bleeding no more. It's 7 days. Y'all can't get no more plainer than that. And then if it runs beyond 8 days, 9 days, it ain't for you to talk about, well, he just said 7 days. No, you got to read everything. He said 8 days, 9 days, 10 days. If it run beyond the time of her separation, she's unclean. She is unclean. So hit to the wise is sufficient. If you're striving to be obedient to the mighty Yah, it is not hard. All we got to do is just do what he told us to do. That's all. We make it hard. And the laws of Yah, his commandments, even as the New Testament says, it is not grievous. It's only grievous to the wicked. Had one brother come up on one sister post and try to entice people not to keep the weekly Shabbat day. And I'm not here to argue on what day y'all keeping the Shabbat day. If you're going by the moon, the cycle of the moon, or you're going by the sun, I'm not here to debate that. I'm just here to bring up the fact that Yah gave the Israelite nation a day of rest, a day of ceasing. So we don't have to argue over or debate over this and debate over that. Do you rest? If you even going by the moon to determine your Shabbat, are you still keeping it? Because as I said, if you do, because I know that Shabbat will float. It won't come every 7 days. Some months it will come 8 days. Because if you're going by the cycle of a moon, the moon has a 29-day cycle. And I'm thinking about calendar day. And it has a 30-day calendar cycle. But not so with a month. With a month, you're dealing with 30 days in every month, but not in every moon cycle. You're going to have 29 to 30. So if you're using the moon to determine your weekly Shabbat, it's going to float. And as I told one brother the last week, the sun and the moon was not created until the 4th day of the week. 3 days later, you had the Shabbat. And that was the new moon that was created on the 4th day of the week. Now, if the Shabbat follows the ordinance of the moon, you would have seen it come 7 days later. Israel, it would have been on the 11th day of the month. The 11th day. Because days was already being established before the sun and the moon. You have the 1st day, the 2nd day, the 3rd day. So the moon does not determine days at all. And Yah only gave the light as a greater light to govern the day, to let you know that you are in the season of the day, not the season of the night. Those are 2 different seasons, totally 2 different seasons. But I want to deal with that. Now I want to deal with the next subject matter. We're going to deal with, and before we move on from that, let me ask, are there any questions on that, on what I just said? Or do anyone have any questions so I can get into that questions outside of what I'm going to deal with? As I said, if you just tuned in, I just dealt with the laws of uncleanness, just dealing with the woman's cycle and dealing with, matter of fact, circumcision. I ain't getting into that because the male child, according to Torah law, and when I speak about Torah law, I want to make sure everybody understand this. Moray Minister Yoel teaches. When I speak in context of law, I'm dealing from Bereshit to Deuteronomy. I'm not dealing outside of the first 5 books when you're dealing with law. And there is no prophet, mark my words, and I won't have any minister in the world that will call in and refute what I'm saying. They're not that bold enough, not to do it on truth or tradition. There's not one law outside of the book of the law that any prophet brought, any leader brought. And if they attempted to, they was only in error. They was only in error. When the mighty Yah told Joshua to meditate in the book of the law, he wasn't talking about the book of Jeremiah. He was not talking about the book of Isaiah, the book of Hosea. Those are not books of the law. The law is perfect. According to Psalm 19:7 said, the law of the mighty Yahweh is perfect and it will convert your soul. From Bereshit to Deuteronomy. And within the confines of those books of Bereshit, Yah deals with Genesis. Because that's where he established the everlasting covenant with our father Abraham. And it's everlasting. And if you're not circumcised on the 8th day, according to that law, the mighty Yah said he will cut us off. Right? Yes, he did. So you know the New Testament is wrong out the gate because it teaches totally against circumcision of the flesh. Now, did Christ in the New Testament teach against it? No, he didn't. Did Peter teach against it? No, he didn't. Christ, Yahushua, the New Testament, he was the head minister of circumcision, according to the New Testament. The book of Romans, the 15th chapter, the 8th verse. According to the New Testament, Peter was his head disciple for the church of circumcision. According to Galatians, the 2nd chapter, the 7th verse. The only one that taught against circumcision of the flesh was Paul, because Paul was sent to the heathens. Paul was sent to the Gentiles. But the Christ of the New Testament told all his disciples, don't even go to the Gentiles. According to the book of Matthew, the 10th chapter, the 5th and 6th verse. So who are you following today? My New Testament family. You're following Paul. You're not even following the Christ of the New Testament. And then you're going to try to defend his words and try to make the Most High out to be a liar, which is an abomination. It's an abomination. But you're supposed to circumcise your male child on the 8th day. And we're going to get back to that when I'm dealing with these hospitals and the virus. So let's deal with Esau and Jacob. Esau and Jacob. And this is so easy. This subject matter is so easy. I cannot, for the life of me, understand why many of our people believe that Yaakov's twin brother, who was Esau, was a man that looked like Donald Trump. For the life of me, where do y'all get that from? That this is a man that actually looked like Donald Trump. Well, let's see. Let's see, says a black man. Let's go to the book of Bereshit. Let's go to the book of Genesis. Let's go to Genesis. Dealing with Esau and Jacob, because I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of doubt that Esau was a man of color. Without a shadow of a doubt, that he was a man of color. And he was not, no, he did not look like Trump. He did not look like a lot of your slave masters. He was a man of color, and both of them were sons of Isaac. They was twins in the mother's Rebecca womb. So we're gonna pick this up, and I'm gonna show you that the Edomites were people of color. And I'm gonna show you one of the oldest books in the Bible, whole Bible. You might not be aware of this. It's the book of Job. That's one of the oldest books in the Bible. One of the oldest. But you will never know it because the books is not in order. And I'm going to show you who Job was and what color he was. So, but let's first let's pick this up about Esau and Jacob. Let's go to the book of Genesis. Let's go to, and I hope that some of y'all already know about this story from church or from being new to this knowledge, because you are descendants from these great people. So I hope you know a little bit about the story of Isaac and Rebekah and Esau. Let's start at Genesis, the 25th chapter. And we're going to start reading in the 20th verse. It said, Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian, of Padan Aram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated Yah for his wife because she was barren. And Yahweh was entreated of him. And oftentimes the women in Israel, they was barren for whatever reason. Yah closed up the womb. Only Yah knows, but they was barren. And she was barren. And Isaac entreated Yah. He went to Yah, he prayed for his wife. That Yah open up her womb, bless her, give me seed of her. And of course it says, and Yah was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. Right in the womb, they was fighting. They was going at it, doing battling with one another. They was at odds with one another in the womb. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yah. Now, another thing you're not going to read, when she went to inquire of the mighty Yah, at this time, you got to understand that Shem, who they call in the New Testament, was Melchizedek. He was the king of ancient Salem or ancient Jerusalem. He was a priest of the Most High. And Abraham learned from Shem. Isaac, Jacob, they all learned from Shem and Noah. Because these men at that time, they were living 800 and 900 years. But if you don't know how to put timeline together, in the time that Abraham was born, you think these men was already dead, but they was not. They were still living. At the time that Yaakov and Rebekah was here on earth, they were still here. They were still living, folks. And she went and inquired of them. And this is what happened. And it said, and Yah said unto her, because prophethood, not only does the Quran say prophethood come through the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We know the Torah says that in Deuteronomy, the 18th chapter. So all prophets come through the Israelite nation, not through Ishmael, not through Esau. Because we are Shemitic people. And being that we're Shemitic people, we're not anti-Semitic, because we are Shemitic. But that's what they throw out today, that when they try to say that folks that hate the Ashkenazis, you anti-Semitic, you hate the Jewish people. No, we are the real McCoy. All the other nations supposed to be learning from Israel. The Ashkenazis, why they practicing Judaism. All the other people should be learning from Israel, because we are the people that Yah endowed his holy articles to teach the world the truth. As it says in the book of Psalms, the 147th division, the 19th and 20th verses, that he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He had not dealt so with any Ashkenazi nation. He had not dealt so with any Arabic nation. And as for his judgments, Esau do not know them. As a whole, as a nation, as people. So you cannot call yourself going to a rabbi, attempting to learn the ways of Yah, that's speaking Yiddish. He's not dealing with Paleo-Hebrew. He's speaking Yiddish, a Germanic language mixed with this and mixed with that. So you cannot go learn from these people. And they should be tuning in, learning from the ministers of Yah. They should be learning from the Limbas. They should be learning from the Ashantis. And they should be learning from the prophets of Yah and the prophetess of the mighty Yah according to his word. And he said, Yah said unto her in verse 23, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. 2 nations was in the womb. Now, how could that be? These was only 2 children. What they know? These were 2 nations already in her womb. And 2 manner of people shall be separated from her bowels. The one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Now, Yah is the only one that can make an exception, because in Torah law, the firstborn male is the beginning of the father's strength. He's the one that receives everything, basically. The firstborn male. Now, today, when a father passes away, all hell breaks loose. Because number one, most African American people don't have wills. And then we just think we're going to live forever. So we don't make preparations. Our forefathers made preparations in everything that they did while they was living, because they knew tomorrow was not promised. So hint to the wise is sufficient. While you living today, have your will, have you something drawn up. So when you do go the way of all flesh, I'm speaking to the men, you won't have people fighting over your car that you own. That's if you own anything, your house, your money. And we sure do know how to show our tail, don't we? When a family member passed away, we even have fights breaking out at the funeral or at the reception. That's mine. Jay left that to me. Nah, he left that to me. No. And people coming in from all directions. Because if you own things, if you don't have a will, you know who you're going to be property of? It's going to be state's property. All that you done labor to do. And bless people before you go. I can't take my gold necklace with me, my gold rings with me. Bless people. Give it to your people. Say, I want you to have this. I want you to have that. I want you to get this. Because a closed hand don't get blessed by the mighty Yah. But hands that's open, that gives, those seeds that you sow righteous, they will always come back to you. In a time when you might need it. You might need it. So you always want to plant good seeds and try to help people. Help people. And Yah looks at that. He watches that. He monitors that. That's why I love my teacher, my beloved teacher. Because every time I went to his barber shop, if he had something to eat, and he just got something, he would say, anybody in here want a piece? Want a piece? Anybody want some? He didn't think about himself. And he looked at all of us as if we were, you could be his same age. He looked at you as if you was his son, as if you was his daughter. That's how much he loved his people. And we have to get the love. I don't see nobody with the love that Moses had for Israel. Maybe it's some out there. Because this man loved Israel so much. He said, he asked somebody, Yah, to block me out of the book of life. If you don't forgive these idolaters, if you don't forgive these lying, dirty people that will stab you in your back, that want to stone me, and they want to kill me. And I'm praying for them. I'm fasting for them. I'm humbling myself for them, and they want to kill me. They want to take me out. And we're a danger to one another. I hate to say it. We're a danger to other people. And Israel just danger to one another. We will kill, who you think killed the black prophets? It wasn't a white man. It wasn't a European. It was Israelites. And once you offend an Israelite, brother or sisters, oh boy, as my old teacher, Moray Dan, used to say, a brother or sister offended is harder to be won in a strong city. You correct people, and they get mad at you. Israel. And Israel will hate you. Because who in the hell he think he is to correct me? This young whippersnapper. Who this woman is think she is to correct me? She's supposed to be keeping her mouth shut. What's she doing even having a dialogue with me? I'm a man. You don't engage in a dialogue with a man if you're a woman. Keep your mouth shut. Didn't you learn that in Christianity? In the church? It's even a shame for you to even speak in the church. And you got the audacity to approach me and try to give me some wisdom? Trying to help me out? Because when Yah said we are brothers' keeper, he wasn't just talking about the brothers. We all each other's keeper. And Yah didn't just give men wisdom. He gave women wisdom. Matter of fact, he opened up a mouth of an ass and started talking to a man and told the man, you perverse. You better change your ways, y'all gonna slay you. And by y'all will send an angel to slay Balaam if it weren't for the ass crushing his leg outside the wall, and he got upset with the ass, but the ass was trying to save his life. And somehow we don't realize when people is before you attempting to save your life, and we do just like the ass do. We talk about he false prophet, he this, no lie, no good at, you know what, in. That's how we do with one another. Because Israelites hate to be corrected. Now, if you love Yah and you love yourself, you wouldn't mind correction at all. You wouldn't mind it at all, wherever it came from. Sister told me, brother, you know what you're eating right there is it got swine in it. And I didn't know that. I was totally into it. Praise Yah. Thank you for letting me know. I didn't know that. But I'm going to research it. I'm just not going to take your word, though. But I'm going to stop eating it for the time. And I'm going to do my own diligent research. And that's another thing Israelites don't take the time out to do. They own study. They lean so much on their mores. They lean so much on their ministers to teach them everything. I mean, everything. And you should never do that. You should never have all your trust in a man that like that. That's dangerous. Now he has become your God. A lot of us is too shiftless and lazy to get in the book, do research, study, dig deep. And you got to dig deep when you're dealing with the word of Yah. And when you study, you just can't study from one text. You got to study from all the different texts and see the consistency of truth in them, because they're going to differ. You got all types of different Tanakhs that differ. You got Masoretic texts different from 1611. You got 1611 that something might differ from the Septuagint. You got something in the Septuagint that might differ from the Sephar. Because you got all these different books, Bibles, whose Pharisees or rabbis or different men had their hand in that were not Israelites. Let me say it again. That were not Israelites. That's why when you read Masoretic text, you see a lot of Shakespeare in it. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. That's Shakespeare talk. In Paleo Hebrew, we don't talk like that. You won't see stuff written like it is in your Masoretic text. So when I had my dialogue with my beloved brother last week about Isaiah the 9th chapter, the 6th verse, where it's given the illusion that a child is being born and this is actually the everlasting Father. That's what I read. If I didn't read nothing else and I was a comedic, I'm like, and I'm debating an Israelite, y'all actually teaching that the Creator was born through the womb of a woman. He's the Father coming through a woman. So my life, without reading nothing, if I didn't read nothing else to study Hebrew or anything, nothing, I read that. I know that wouldn't make sense because it's not consistent with truth. Because the Creator said he lives forever. And he never died at all. And I know we only got one everlasting Father. Now, if I was to read that, I would have to say, be honest with myself, well, it is two everlasting fathers. It is. It is two. Because Isaiah 9 says it. So no, Israel. We only got one everlasting Father, one Creator, one. All right, now we're dealing with Jacob and Esau. And it says in verse 24, Genesis 25th chapter, it says, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Twins. One did not look like Donald Trump, and one looked like you. No, they was twins. The only difference is, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Now, when you look at the Hebrew word red, it don't mean white, Israel. It's come from the Hebrew word Adam, and it means red. It's a brownish color. It's a brownish color, like a red heifer. You got phones, you got internet, type in red heifer, and you're going to see the color of it. And this is mentioned in the book of, go to the book of Numbers, but they was twins. Go to the book of Numbers. the 19th chapter. And this is what the priests use in the book of Numbers, the 19th chapter. We're going to start reading at the 9th verse. You can read this whole chapter. But in the 9th verse, it says, and a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer. But let me show you what it's dealing with the red heifer. Let me start at verse 2. This is the ordinance of the law, which Yah have commanded, saying, speak unto the children of Israel and say that they bring thee a red heifer without spot, not a white cow, but a red heifer without spot, whereas no blemish. When you search this word red, it will never take you to white. Never. So if Esau was born red, ruddy, as King David was ruddy. Ruddy, red, and not as in flesh, not as in blood, what I'm saying. As somebody they first term blood red. No, it's talking about his appearance, like the red heifer. And this is how Esau looked, just like a red heifer. And then, because what a lot of these teachers today are teaching just don't make no sense. Teaching that, and let me pose this to you all Israelites. Before 1948 or 49, who were the people that you was calling Esau? Who were they? Before the United States made them a European satellite over what they call the Middle East, who were you calling Esau? Hello? Good. Are you not aware of the fact that all the Europeans came out of Japhet or Japhet, according to Genesis, the 10th chapter? They did not come out of Esau. Esau was Hebrew. Esau spoke Hebrew as Yaakov. And when Yah prophesied about the Gentiles, we're going to come into a land that is not ours, or to a language we won't understand. We both spoke the language. How in the hell the Europeans is Esau? They don't speak Hebrew. Yah said we're going to come into a language that we shall not understand. And I'm speaking to you in a bastard language, English. So it don't make sense. And I'm gonna show y'all else something that else don't make sense when you're dealing with Esau and Yaakov. But I'm bringing up the fact that the red heifer, it is what we use. So pull it up, type it in, red heifer. Then let's go to the book of 1 Samuel, the 16th chapter, because I'm gonna show you all who Job was. But I'm gonna show you things in Genesis. I'm gonna show you things in Chronicles to let you know about Esau. Go to the book of 1 Samuel, the 16th chapter. 1 Samuel chapter 16. And we're going to deal with the 400 years today with a brother that's going to call in. Go to 1 Samuel, the 16th chapter. We're going to start reading in verse number 12. Verse number 11, it says, and Samuel said unto Jesse, are here all thy children? And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse, send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come here. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy, and withal of a beautiful countenance. Who was this? Who was this ruddy young man? It was King David. It was Shiloh. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Shiloh, the Messiah, who was prophesied to come back in the last days to be king over all Israel, to be the prince over all Israel. And how do I know it? Because the mighty Yahweh said it. Yah said it, not me. So don't get mad at me for correcting you, because then y'all gonna look at you and he's gonna frown and say that why didn't they hearken unto the voice of my servant? He told them it was gonna be David. Do they hate David that much? Are they in love with Christ that much that they gonna ignore what I said and I'm the creator? And they're gonna go with what Paul said if he is the creator? How arrogant of Israelites. When you show them what Yah said, and they get mad at other Israelites for pointing out that it's David. But we didn't say it. We didn't write it. And I don't care if you're going by the Sephar, the Targums, the Septuagint, They all say David. And they're not talking about the son of David. They're not talking about the seed of David. It's talking about David. Because while David was alive, he knew the Creator was going to bring him back to be king over all Israel. As he stated in the book of 1 Chronicles, the 28th chapter, the 5th through the 8th verse. But David was described as ruddy. And then we go to the book of, and dealing with Esau and Jacob. Let's go and dealing with the Edomites. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 23. And according to the historian Flavius Josephus, if you study the works and antiquities of Flavius Josephus, he said the only difference between Yaakov and Esau was their hair. One had hair like the goat. And I done seen some black Vietnamese, they blacker than me. I'm not black, I'm brown. They the color of this wall. But they got straight hair. Your ancient black Arabians, not these white ones you see today, because they mingled. They was jet black. Esau was dark, but he had hair like the goat. He had hair like that. Was the only difference. Main difference. But according to Josephus, he said the only difference was the hair. And I agree, because that's what the book says. Y'all want to make this man out to be white. Okay, he's your white brother. Look what y'all said about your white brother. Go to Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter. Look what the Creator, Yahuwah, the mighty Yah, said. Don't run. Matter of fact, call up some of these groups that teach that. Go to Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter, because I'm asked. Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter. And we read verse 7, said, thou shalt not abhor a Edomite, for he is thy brother. So Trump is y'all brother. Why are y'all mad at Trump? Why are you mad at the police, European police officers that pull you out the cars, that pull you over? Say, hey, brother, why you pulling me over, man? Don't you know we brothers? Let me open up the Torah to you and show you. You my brother. We supposed to be walking hand in hand together, brother. But you know what y'all say? That cracker, they always messing with black folks. These white, and you call them devils. Although the book don't say that, but you say that. These devils, these crackers, need to leave us black folks alone. They always picking with black folks. But that's your brother. If you believe that Esau is a white man. And the Maya said, this is the law. Don't hate your brother. That's the law. That is the law. I didn't say it. Y'all said it. I don't care if y'all like it or not. Y'all said, if you believe that the white man is your brother, he's your brother. But I know he's not my brother. You know he's not my brother. I know how to recognize my enemy from my brother. We don't even have an understanding on the 10 Commandments, on the law of Yah. When Yah said, love thy neighbor as thyself, he wasn't talking about your next door clansman. No, he wasn't talking about Trump or Gold or Bill Gates or the Rothschilds or Rockefellers. When Yah said, love thy neighbor as thyself, he was talking to Israelites, to other Israelites. He wants us to love, that's your neighbor, that's your brother. These laws was given to our nation. And they will only pertain to the strangers that sojourn with us. One law for Israel and one for the stranger. But it's only if they sojourn with us. You don't see but you read a book, and that's what most African Americans' your minds got messed up at. You all was reading a book when it says to love your enemies. And I studied truth, and I searched for truth. And once I found out that truth is the laws of Yah, according to the book of Psalms, 119th division, 142nd verse, it says that the law is the righteousness is everlasting. It don't stop for a dispensation. The righteousness of the Most High is everlasting, and His laws is the truth. Now, once I found out what truth was, which was Yahweh's law, Yahuwah's law, then I took it. I studied it. I was taught by my teacher the laws of Yah. Alicia, Dan, Tyray, Ziggyar, the ones I studied them and meditated in the law, did what y'all told me to do, and then I weighted and measured it by other books. I measured it by things written in the Book of the Dead. I measured it by things in the Talmud. I measured it by things I read in the Quran, in the New Testament. And I said, oh boy, that's not true. Now, how did I know it wasn't true? Because it's not consistent with the word of the Most High. Because he defines what truth is. And all truth is consistent with universal or natural laws. You will never see the rabbits talking about, well, you know, telling another rabbit, now you know that's my brother, the fox. That's our brother. And we should wait for our brother to get here so he can feed on one of us. You will never see that in nature. Animals have better sense than people today. It's your natural instinct to go against your enemy, to be beware of your enemy, to be on alert when your enemy is around you. You get natural instinct that's in you. When certain people get around you, you don't love everybody. That's not consistent with Yah's word. The mighty Yah don't love everybody. He don't even love everybody. That's not consistent with scriptures at all. But Deuteronomy 23 say that's your brother. Esau is your brother. The white man is your brother. If you believe that, then let's go to the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Let's go to Psalms 83. Because within the confines of this chapter, my African-American brothers and sisters, you're going to see the nations that took part and confederated to cut us off from being a people. So when we go to these two Psalms, the 83rd chapter, and this was prophecy that took place during the slave trade. Go to Psalms 83, says, keep not thou silence, O Elohim, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Elohim. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Now you expect, hey, man, you actually mean that you got people in the world that hate God? That hate the Creator? Yes. They despise his commandments and laws? Yes. They don't want to have nothing to do with that so-called mean God of that Old Testament. Give us a God of love. Give us a God that's merciful, that loves everybody, because we all come from one man. We all one blood. Well, we all one blood. Why is the black man being brutalized today? If we all one blood and we all this love stuff going on, why is it more black African Americans people is dying coming out of the hospitals than going in the hospitals? If we all one blood and everything is equal and on the same playing level, then why would we have to struggle and fight for civil rights when we should be striving and fighting for human rights? If everything was level and everything was on board, why did we have to pass laws for us not to be discriminated against if you own a company? You got to hire a certain percentage of minorities. If everything was equal, it's on the same playing level, hell, we know everything ain't on the same. How in the hell can everything be on the same playing field, on the same level? Matter of fact, let me tell you, if you got knowledge as a black man or woman, you went to school and got a degree. You and a white man got to train you, and he know it. I got to train them, and they're going to take over my position? Hell nah. So what they do, they only teach you or what they want you to know. Only what they want you to know. Most of the time, people in higher places, they got to really learn on their own. They got to really learn on their own. So, hit to the wise is sufficient. Go to school and learn how to be independent. Be independent. Work for yourself if you can. And that's how you build. We want to talk about nation building and everything else. We got a nation build. We must nation build with one another. Brother called me last night and wanted me to join a conversation dealing with the brothers and sisters in Goshen down in the ATL. And of course, I was busy and I didn't have time to call in. But I'm going to address that at the end of my show because I know the brothers down there. And I love all of them. I love them. But right here in Psalms, the 83rd chapter, you see, it says, they have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut these Negroes off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So when we got out of those ships and went to the Isles and different coasts before we even came to America, we went to them breaking grounds. And then when they separated the fathers from the children, community language was lost, culture was lost, everything was lost. And then we wore their names. But look what it said. It said they have consulted together with one consent, verse 5. They are confederate against us. These nations and people, they are confederated against us. They confederated against us in the hospitals. Oh, they confederated against us in the police department. And the police code is the blue code. You stick together. I don't care if you black or white, we blue. That's a uniform code, blue. And if a black officer, if you have to, you sit and you sit still while 3 white cops beat down an innocent black man or woman. You don't report us. You keep your mouth shut. Because if you rail on us, you get no protection. You get no backup. You get no help. So let it be a warning to you, you N. You part of the blue code now. You got to separate yourself from your people. And all these institutions is racist. Your police department is racist. Your fire department, all these people, racist. These organizations, they racist. And your hospitals, where you go to get so-called get healed at, they racist. They racist too. And like I said, you go in there one day, you won't come out the next day. And we're going to get into that later. It said, then he named the 2 names. Look what he named in verse 6 of Psalms 83. The tabernacles of Edom. Not the white folks, but these are the Edomites. These are the people who are descendants of Esau. And the Ishmaelites of Moab. And the Hyrcanes. That's what the money y'all said when we flee. When the Roman Emperor Titus laid siege on Jerusalem, we flee. Esau, our own brother, cut us off. And they handed us over into our enemies. Our own brother did. This man was so cruel. Esau, he the one that sold his birthright to Yaakov, and it was ordained by Yah. It was ordained by Yah. So why is he mad at us? Number one, because he didn't want it. He didn't want that blessing. And of course, Yah meant it for us to begin with. So, and I'm happy. Oh, I'm joyous. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. Oh, I'm just thinking about it. How blessed we are. That we the people of destiny. We the people to be the future priests and kings of the nation, even if I don't make it back to the homeland. I already know that Israel is going to rule the earth. And any nation or people that won't bow down to the mighty Yah or to us, you're going to be destroyed. Regardless who you are, you're going to be destroyed. But the mighty Yah said, Edom and the Ishmaelites. You got a wild man, and you got a man that lives by this work. Yah said Ishmael shall be a wild man. His hand shall be against every man, and every man hand against him. They hate us today. That's why in a lot of these Arab stores, they will quickly sell our people some swine. Although the Quran tells them that it's the only meat they are forbidden to eat. But hold up. But the Quran also tells them that if they get hungry, they can go ahead and eat it. So maybe that's why they sell swine, chitlins, and all bacon and pork chops to black folks. Because their religious book tells them if they get hungry, they can eat it. Good gracious of mine. These books are supposed to be books of spirituality. Oh my goodness. But these the two nations that he named, and all these nations were nations of color. There's not a white European nation within the confines of Psalms 83. You're just wrong, folks. We were sold to the Gentiles. Then let's go to the book. Let's go to the book of Job. Let's go to the book of Job, the 42nd chapter. Because now I'm going to show you all who Job is, according to scriptures. Let's go to Job, the 42nd chapter. Job chapter 42. Pardon me for a minute. Job chapter 42. And in the book of Job, the 42nd chapter. Look at this. It said, we're going to read in Job chapter 42, because this would allow I told my one brother, I'm going to bring this out today to him, if he was not aware of this fact. And I'm going to read the 16th verse. It said, and Job lived after his affliction 170 years. And all the years he lived were 240. 240, what? He lived that long? How? And the book of Job is almost always in the back of the Old Testament, because it's out of order. It's out of order. Job lived during the time. During the time of Israel. During the time of the Israelite. Our father Yaakov. And Job lived, look at this, it says 170 years, all the years he lived were 240. And Job saw his son and his sons, the fourth generation, and Job died an old man and full of days. And it is written that he will rise again with those whom Yahuwah raised up. This man is described in the Sirach book as living in the land of Asis, on the border of Idumea and Arabia. And his name before was Jobab. Jobab. And I'm going to show y'all something in the book of Bereshit, in the book of Chronicles. This man was king in ancient Edom. And having taken an Arabian wife, he begot a son. See, Ishmael took an Arabian wife. Or not Ishmael, Esau. He took an Arabian wife. He married an Ishmaelite. Esau did. Esau married two black Canaanite wives, and he married an Ishmaelite wife. Now, Ishmael, Abraham's son, he is the father of the Arabic nation. But by Esau marrying an Arabian wife, you know, if the father determines the seed. So you had Hebrew Ishmaelites through Esau. So he has an Arabian family that came out of Esau. But the Arabian nations, once again, came out of Ishmael. And that's what the confusion is being coming in at. Because when brothers say that Ishmael is a part of the Arabian nations, that's true. But Esau married an Ishmaelite woman. And not only did Esau, Job did. It said, and he himself was of the son of his father Zerah, one of the sons of Esau, and of his mother name was Basora, so that he was from Abraham. So this Job, and some of you all said, man, I don't see that in my book. Reason why? Because you're not going reading the older translation. You're not reading old, you're reading Masoretic text, and you won't see it in there. And that was intentionally done. You will read this in the Septuagint. So pull up your Septuagint online and read Job chapter 42, starting in verse 16. Because then you're going to understand why they didn't put it in the book. Then you go to the book. So now I'm going to show y'all that he's mentioned in the book of Bereshit by Jobab, putting everything together for you. And also in the book of Chronicles. He was a king. So when you read the book of Job, you see why it said when he came through the gate, it said the young man was afraid to even speak. They put their hand over their mouth, and he was the richest of all the men of the east. He was a king in ancient Edom. But go with me to the book of Chronicles. First Chronicles. Go to First Chronicles. So you're not going to learn everything just from your teachers. Because a lot of y'all teachers, and these are House of Israel teachers, they teach Esau is the white man. And when I speak about the House of Israel, I'm talking about all the houses of Israel. Throughout the United States, they teach that Esau is the white man. A lot of them. Go to First Chronicles. Look at this. This is so beautiful that you can go line. I can go line upon line and prove back up my position that Job was an Edomite. He was a king, and he's mentioned in the book of Genesis. He's mentioned in the book of Chronicles. When you go to First Chronicles, and let's go to First Chronicles, and I love it. I love it. We're gonna read in the book of First Chronicles. Let's start at verse number 43 in the book of First Chronicles. It said, now these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned over the children of Israel. Bela, the son of Beor, the name of his city was Dinhabah. And when Bela was dead, Jobab, the son of Zerah, what you just read in the book of Job, of Bozrah, reigned in his stead, Jobab. This is Job, Israel. This is the Job you're reading about in the book of Job. And when Jobab was dead, Hisham of the land of Teman reigned in his stead. And then you go to the book of Bereshit. Go to the book of Genesis. And make sure y'all write these down. Go to Genesis. Yes, we got a comment, of course.
Did you say First Chronicles 43?
First Chronicles, the 43rd verse.
First Chronicles, the 43rd.
First Chronicles, first chapter. The 43rd verse. Like I said, anybody have any questions on this? Don't, just ask. Just ask. And you don't agree with it, that's fine. But let's go to Genesis the 20. Let's go to Genesis the and get into what dealing with Esau and showing you that Job was mentioned in the book of Bereshit. We just wasn't aware of this fact because we had nobody show us this. So when you go to the book of Genesis, let's go to around the 36th chapter. Go to the 36th chapter. It says, now these are the generations of Esau, who was Edom, the Edomites, the father of the Edomite nation. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Abumbenah, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon the Hittite, and Bashemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Najaboth. So he married an Ishmaelite woman. Now dealing with the kings that came out of this line, because now you're dealing with the line of Esau. All you got to do is start, we're going to read, and these is dukes, kings of Edom. Let's go to verse, where we want to go to. Let's go to verse number 31 in Genesis, the 36th chapter. And these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom, before there reigned any king over the children of Israel. And Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah, the same thing you read in Chronicles. And Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom. And verse 33, and Bela died, and Jobab, the son of Zerah, who was Job's father, in the book of the Septuagint, of Bozrah, reigned in his stead. So not only is he mentioned in the book of Genesis, he mentioned in the book of Chronicles, and he mentioned in the Septuagint. And this is what Job said. This is what the book of Job says. If you go to the book of, back to the book of Job, the 30th chapter, the 30th verse, look what this says. It says, my skin is black upon me, and my bones are burnt with heat. And many people for years thought that Job was an Israelite. He didn't come out of the Israelite nation. at all. But it's what happens when you limit yourself to one book. That's what happens. You lack knowledge. And that's okay, because we all lack knowledge in something. And this is not relevant to salvation. I just want to bring this point out, this fact out. Because anytime somebody say that I'm teaching something that I'm wrong at, me personally, I challenge you. I challenge any minister in the world. Any minister in the world. Because it is important to the fact that you know who your enemies is, who your friends is. And you don't know scriptures, who you're dealing with, who the people out of these nations is. You let anybody in. You let anybody in, you let this in, that in. You think calling this your brother, that's your brother. So it's important that you understand that the white man is not Esau. And he's not your brother at all. Far from it. You have any questions on it? From anyone? So with that being said, let's move on to the next subject matter. Let's deal with free will. Do everyone have free will? And these things I dealt with. But now I'm showing scriptures. Does everyone have free will? Does everyone have free will? Yes or no? Or do some people do and some people don't? Which is it? Which is it, Yoel? Which is it do y'all say? Do Israel have free will? Do other people have free will? Well, let's investigate this. Let the scripture speak on this matter. And dealing with free will. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 30. And in Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter, this is what the mighty Yah has in his law. This is what he told Israel. In verse 15, he said, see, I have set before thee this day life and good. I set before you Torah, instruction. I gave you instruction. And yes, there is, when you're dealing with the prophets, that's instruction. That's Torah. What King Solomon said is instruction. That's Torah. But those things is not law. We have a book of the law. And you got to know the difference between what Solomon said than what Yah said. And a lot of Israelites don't even know the difference between, they think what Solomon said was law. Or what certain people said was law. And it's not law. And I told all Israel, it's not a law nowhere in the book of the law where you have to put on sackcloth and ashes. That's not law, Israel. I don't care how hard you try to make it, y'all to be a liar. That is not law. And it's nowhere in the law. I'm going to say this again. Absolutely nowhere. And not one person has yet to show me to this day. Praise be to the King. There is nowhere in the law where Yah told us to fast on any of his feast days. On any of them. And you know why you can't do it? You're strange. You Israelites will get mad at me for correcting them, but they will strain their mind. But first they get mad at me. Who the hell he gonna think he is gonna correct us? We've been doing this for 20 years, fasting on the Day of Atonement. And he gonna come along out of nowhere and tell us that's not in the law? Yes. I'm coming out of nowhere and telling you. For those that might not know me. That's not the law. It don't say that. The Creator is specific when he speaks. He is precise when he speaks. He said, humble yourself. And that's the difference between you humbling yourself than you fasting. Most of y'all, you use fasting like you use animal sacrifice. And that's what fasting is. It's a sacrifice. You giving up something. That's what it is. It's a sacrifice. But y'all said obedience is greater than what? Did not the mighty Yah say obedience is greater than sacrifice? Obedience is greater. Oh, it's so much greater. The reason why a lot of us fast is because of our sins. Now, if we was obedient to Yah, would we have really need to fast? If you was completely 100% obedient to the mighty Yah, would you have need to fast? Would you really? Would you have need to fast for other people as Moses did? And the reason why he fasted, because he was dealing with a bunch of idolaters, a bunch of evil, wicked people. So he said, maybe I can entreat Yah, because I love my people so much. Although they want to kill me, they hate me. And I'm here even petitioning Yah on their behalf. And they still want to kill me. So let me try to atone. Let me try to atone. Let me try to make my blood to be an atonement like Christ attempted to do. I like Creflo Dollar and T.D. Jakes and these Israelite camps. They try to make Yehoshua, the New Testament, the blood sacrifice for sin. And I said, no, that is totally impossible for the priests, the sons of Aaron, to take a human's blood and to use that to atone for any man's sin. You can't get no more wicked than that. Your thought process is wicked. To think that the Creator will take human blood that has impurities in it? Are you really serious? Blood is the life. He said, hey, you use these beasts I give you, these clean animals. Don't bring before me nothing broken or maimed. You bring me a perfect sacrifice if you want to sacrifice something. But what Israel want to do? We want to bring y'all something that's cut, missing one eye, limping, crippled, and offer up to him. We want to bring a man, a 30-year-old man, to the Most High altar and say, here's your son that you said to die for the sins of all man, for all Israel. Here he is, y'all. Take him and hang him on a tree or cut him up. Stick nails in him. And let the blood run down from the body of the sweet Lord right on to the altar. So make sure you nail him up high right over the altar, so his blood can just run down. And we just watch it and admire how the blood of the lamb just runs down and just drips all over the altar of the priest. Ain't that something? Only a wicked man with a mind state like that will even think like that. The Creator said a dead, rotten, stinking body is an abomination. He said, the Moses said, we even go into a tent with a dead body. It's you unclean. That's how filthy the dead body is, because it omits gases. We would like to read the New Testament and think that the mighty Yahweh, Yahuwah, would just, when Christ died, he'd be just, where you at? Somebody find him. Find the body of my son so I can smell it. One more time, Gabriel. Let me smell the offering. Ooh, my son, my beloved son, whom I'm well pleased. Let me smell it. How long he been hanging on the tree? For 3 days. The body is really dripping with maggots and worms and it's just roasting. And let me smell the aroma of the dead body. Now, if you're going by the New Testament, because that's what it says. That's what it actually says. The Creator was pleased with smelling the body of Christ. Are you kidding? Are you serious? And if I was a person that read the Bible and read that and think that was the word of God, I wouldn't have nothing else to do with it. Because I know that's an abomination. That's an abomination. And some of you all, you've never been in a house where a dead body was found. You can smell the dead body down the street when you're walking in the hot summer. You smell that. What is that? Oh my God. Oh, what is that? You smell that? And you like to think the mighty Yah was smelling the body of a man? And he is holy. He said, I'm so holy. I'm so set apart. I won't even dwell with y'all. If you gotta take a shit, take a paddle, go dig a hole and put it in there and cover it up. Go outside the camp. Because your camps are supposed to be holy. Yeah, I use the word. So what? So what? Take it up with Yah. Take it up with the mighty Yah. That's what the mighty Yah said. When you ease yourself. He said he ain't walking amongst that mess. And we think that Yah want to be amongst our mess. Today walking amongst us. Trash. You ain't took the trash out of Yah. It's just stinking. Now you look quick, like some incense. Oh, people coming over. Hurry quick. And you know when you got garbage sitting in your house all the time, stuff breed germs and bacteria, all type of things. But right here, the mighty Yah said in Deuteronomy 30, if Trey said, I set before you life and good and death and evil. I gave y'all instruction. I gave y'all laws. I gave y'all my book of the law. Life and good. But you want to choose death and evil. You want to choose the Quran and the New Testament. You want to choose Egyptology. You want to choose the way of the Comedics. You want to be an atheist now. You want to lead the Israelite way of life. And think you're going to follow something that's better than what y'all laid out? Good luck. He said that I command thee this day to love Yah thy Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, his statutes, and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And Yah thy Elohim shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. But if thy heart turn away, you turn away. He that turneth his ears away from hearing the law, even his prayers, is an abomination. So you can turn away at any time because you're getting mad. You're getting upset. He talking about my Lord. He talking about our Savior. And he never saved no one. And if your ear turn away, your prayers is even an abomination to the Most High, according to the wisdom of Solomon. He says, so thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other gods, other mighty ones. Your heart drawn away, now you worship in your minister. He can't do no wrong. He got many of you all in a trance. Everything he say, you hold on to his every word instead of doing your own research and study. And you start worshiping him and serving him. He said, no, y'all said, I denounce unto you this day that you shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land which thou passest over Jordan to go to possess it. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death. Therefore, Yah said, choose life. So it look like Israel got free will, don't it? He said, choose life. Therefore, choose life that thou and thy seed may live, that thou mayest love Yah thy Elohim. So he said, Israel, you said you got a choice. And most of Israel, you have the choice to choose life. All of us have that choice to get in that bed with that woman that we're not married to. All of us have that choice and make the decisions we make in life to do certain things, to eat certain things, to eat that food that you go out to eat at a restaurant and you don't know if it's been cooked with swine meat. You just say, just give it to me. Just order me the ribeye steak. Well, do you know how it's prepared? Do you know what it's being cooked with? No, just give it to me. We knew we shouldn't have brought you out here. What is you going to start asking these questions? You're going to spoil our night. We ain't here to have a conscious mind. We here to eat and enjoy. We ain't trying to listen to you. We've been listening to Paul so long. And of course, the New Testament tells anyone that if somebody invites you to a feast and you be disposed to go, it says when you get there to that feast, it says eat, asking no questions for your conscience sake. Because you don't want your conscience being bothered about what you eat. So don't even ask them questions. What is it? What's this meatloaf? Is it turkey and half pig? If it's half beef, what are these hot dogs? Are these beef hot dogs or turkey, or is they pork? Or is they 50-50? Don't even be bothered with your conscience. But these Israelites, you invite them over to barbecues, they want to ask you this. They want to question this. So stop inviting them to these functions. They mad. They in a cult. They following, who did this God? They call it Yahuwah. What's his name? Yahweh? Yahweh? Who is that? We follow the Lord. See, and with the Lord's sweet Christ, there's mercy. See, we can eat and we just pray in the name of the sweet Lord, and we will be forgiven of our sins. But these crazy Old Testament Israelites, boy, I tell you, they something else. They is something else. And the Mighty Yah told us to choose life. So you have a choice. You have a choice. But my question is, does everyone have this option to choose life? Do they have the option to choose? Do they have free will? Let's go to a book of Genesis. Let's go to the book of Genesis, the second chapter. Let's go to the book of Genesis, the second chapter, the 15th verse. It said that Yah Elohim took took the man and put him in a garden of Eden to dress in it and keep it. And Yah Elohim commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall die. And yes, no one is living to see a day. For 1,000 years to us is nothing but a day to Yah. And the oldest man, Methuselah, lived to be 969 years of age. No one reached the day. But we see by reading this, that Adam and Eve, they had a choice, and they knew better. And they knew better. And you know that they knew better. They had a choice, because when you go to the 3rd chapter, it said, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yah Elohim have made. And he said unto the Israelites, yea, have Elohim said in the book of Leviticus, ye shall not eat any swine that's in the garden? And the Israelite women and men said unto the serpent, we may eat of everything that's in the book of Leviticus, except for that which cheweth not the cud and divide the hoof. We can eat of everything except for all the fish, except if it don't have fins and scales. But we can eat all the beasts that he told us to eat, but those that don't have fins and scales, like the Quran, so we can't do like the Quran. The Quran said we can eat it. But Yah told us, don't eat it. He said, a woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim I said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. So don't touch it. Don't eat it. So they knew better. They knew right from wrong. But the serpent, oh, the old serpent, like a lot of the ministers today that teach on Sabbath, that teach on the first day of the week, that teach during the week on Facebook. And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die, y'all Israelites. And the leading serpent is what they call Paul. You can't get no bigger serpent than that. For Elohim does know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So what the serpent do? He mixed truth with lies. Because truly, she was, and after they ate, they was like gods, knowing good and evil. But they died. They died in that day. So he did what the scripture told us not to do, and that is to lie, nor deal falsely with one another. Don't deal in deceit. Don't deal in one gate. Be honest. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. There's an old saying, if a wife asks her husband, how do you like that? How do you like the food? Did the food taste good? Then tell her the truth. Tell her the truth. I wasn't feeling that. I appreciate you, putting forth the effort to make it, but it lacked seasoning. It lacked, like little this. Maybe try this the next time. Just don't beat her down with it. This stuff tastes like shit. This stuff, this ain't fit for a dog to eat. No, you don't come at your wife like that. No, you be nice, you be kind. Real kind. And you just let her know, now that didn't taste right. It didn't taste right to me. I don't like it. Be honest. But we think I'm gonna hurt her feelings and that. No, you tell her the truth. You tell her the truth. Because you don't, she's gonna keep making that stuff. And she's gonna think you like it. So let's be straight out honest. And we gotta be honest with one another. Don't like me? Tell me you don't like me. Don't tell me you love Brother Yoel, you like Brother Yoel, but then you want the knife in Brother Yoel back. Then tell me, I can respect that. Why don't you like me? Maybe I can do something that maybe you will like me. But I'm not going to compromise the word of the Most High. Now, if you don't like me because I teach what thus saith Yah, you got to take that up with the Creator. Because Brother Yoel don't spare for nobody. I'm not a respecter of persons. Who it may be, my wife, anyone. I'm not a respecter of persons. And I'm not going to apologize to you when I'm teaching the word of Yah, and I know what I'm teaching is right, because you get offended by it. No, but if I say something, I'll do something that offended you, that was outside the confines of the law. All depends on what that is. What that is. So yes, we got questions.
Yeah, but do you think that when dealing with the law, somebody gets offended or whatever they get offended by, we should apologize if we offended them, in any way? Should we say that?
Say it again so everybody can hear it. Talk loud.
Should we apologize if we offended somebody in any way? Because you know how some people just say that to kind of make peace with their brothers or their sisters. Should we apologize if we offended somebody in any way?
If we offended somebody in any way, no, not in any way, because that's broad.
Mm-hmm.
That's a broad statement. Not in any way, because some people are just sensitive. A lot of people are sensitive. A lot of people have become soft. So no, they can just strengthen their loins up. Because if we gotta be on eggshells and dealing with one another, God, good gracious, how can people so, and I'm thinking about myself as well, the whole nation be so corrupt, do things that's not right, and be offended? We all have done things wrong. We all have. Our whole nation is guilty in the sight of Yah. So in knowing that, I have to show mercy. It's up to me to show mercy to my brothers and sisters. And don't hold a grudge, as Yah said. Because that's what Yah said in the law. He said, don't hold grudges against the children of thy people. And in saying that, it all depends on the severity of what it is, of the infraction is. Because some things can occur you just stop dealing with certain people in a certain manner. Like somebody might borrow money from me and they will act like, well, I just got money to give away. And I'm like, well, I'm waiting the brother to pay me back. And then don't let me ask him for it back. You're gonna be looking at me crazy like, nigga, please. And cussing me out because I'm asking for, do we got my money? But this is what you deal with when you're dealing with people in Israel. So what I do, I done learned that over the years dealing with Israel and with people. So I just give money away. I just give it. I don't expect it back. Because a lot of people they so-called borrow money and they forget they owe you the money. And they get mad at you for even asking them for it. Take attitudes about it. So like I said, it all depends on what. So I know how I am. I know how my spirit is. Because I'll be ready to take your head off. I'm the one that helped you when you was in need. Now you booming, you on your feet, you got bankroll pulling out, you don't want to give me my money back. You got amnesia now. So I know I am. So you got to know yourself when you're dealing with yourself and dealing with people. Any other questions on that? By anyone? Any other questions on that? About dealing with people? Because I know Israel is rough, but right now we're dealing with free will. Now let's go to the book of Judges. Let's go to Judges, the 13th chapter. And if those on YouTube can comment, they're able to comment? Mm-hmm. Good. I want to make sure everybody is able to comment if they wish. Book of Judges, the 13th chapter. Go to Judges, the 13th chapter. We're dealing with free will. And we're going to start in verse number. Let's start in verse number 1. It said, and the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of Yah. And Yah delivered them into the hand of the Philistine 40 years. And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren, and bare not. And the angel of Yah appeared unto the woman, and said unto her, behold, now thou art barren, and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come up on his head. For the child shall be a Nazarite unto Elohim from the womb. and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. Now, did Samson, who you're reading about here, did he have a choice in the matter? Could he choose or not to be a Nazarite? No, this was ordained by Yah. This was ordained by the Most High. He was to be a Nazarite from the womb. And said the woman came and told her husband. So when he came on my expedite, we in Judges the 13th chapter. And then when we go and read, we're going to read verse number. Let's go to chapter 14 and get right to it. But we know he was a Nazarite from the womb. He was to let the locks of his hair grow long. And that's what Nazarites did until their vow was fulfilled. Then we go to Judges, the 14th chapter, and look what happened. It says, Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines now. Therefore, get her to me for wife. I'm not going to compare my brother to O.J. Simpson, but I'm saying he's like a lot of brothers today that they love white women. But they don't, if it's not white women, it's women of other ethnic groups. And this was happening. So imagine, so you got a lot of African-American people today that they got a family member, a black man, whether he's old or young, but he said, man, why he's always running after other women, white women? So put him in this scriptures. Then his father and his mother said unto him, is there never an Israelite woman? There's never a sister out here? Don't y'all realize you got at least 6 black women that's looking for husbands? And I'm being nice. Looking for husbands to marry. They single. They're just waiting for somebody to lead them, to love them, to be there with them. And y'all got to run after somebody of another nation. And these women is out here, I can't find no man. I'm looking for a man. And barely an Israelite woman, she's looking for not just a man, she's looking for a righteous man to govern her house. Because I don't know any Israelite women, I'll say this, I don't know any personally that's looking for a fool to govern over her house. They're looking for wise men, strong men, no henpecked men, but they want wise, strong, Yah-fearing men to govern them. And it ain't all about looks. Those looks fade away. It said beauty is vain and favor deceitful, but a woman that fears Yah, she shall be praised. But everybody got a choice to choose who they want, how she look to them. Attractive. Because everybody's attracted to something. And everybody is beautiful to somebody. So our beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And the true beauty comes from the inner, the inside, comes from the heart. The heart. How's that person? Because you can get the most beautiful woman, you can get the most handsome man, but they vile. She's just wretched. And he just, oh my goodness. He handsome, got money, got this. So money ain't the in all to everything. Money's important. Don't get me wrong. Money is important. Because nobody want a broke joker. But when you're considering marrying somebody, you got to consider everything. Everything. But look for the qualities in a person. The things you got in common with the person. Me and the person we were discussing about is always saying the opposite attracts. Yes, opposite attracts, but the same attracts. It all depends. So you got to get to know the person. Get to know the inner of that man and woman. Just don't jump in the bed real quick like a lot of times we love to do. And it's hot, passionate love making. And next thing you know, that leading to marriage, and your whole marriage was based off of sex. And you don't got nothing else going for you. Nothing else going. So you don't want to go in the wrong way. But right here it said his father and his mother said unto him, is there never a woman amongst the daughters of the brethren, or amongst all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, get her for me, for she pleases me well. I want her, Abba. I want her. And see, this was the custom of our people, the fathers, for the son and for the daughter. That's why I asked Israel, is it better for us to do the choosing or for the Abba and Eva? And I got to teach the word of Yah. I got to. Abraham told his servant, go find me a wife for my son Yishak. And how did that turn out, Israel? And Isaac and Rebekah sent their son Yaakov off. And he ended up with who? Rebekah. How did that work out, Israel? But we look at ourselves today. How is it working out for us today? Because we're doing the choosing. Abba and Eva ain't doing the choosing. Even the Israelite Abba and Eva, they ain't doing the choosing. They ain't choosing nothing for their sons and daughters. They let them choose. We had arranged marriages. And people don't like it. I don't give a hell what you like or what you don't like. It was the authority of the Father that Yah gave. I gotta say it. In the book of the law, to gave his daughter, if a man was found, let me take y'all to the law. Then we're gonna come back here. I hope this Judges 14. Go to the book of Exodus, the 21st chapter. So I gotta show the law. Exodus, the 21st chapter. And I this one part of my lesson. But sometimes that's how it happened. Let's go to Exodus, the 21st chapter. And let's read this in the, oh boy. And I didn't mean to get on this. But sometimes that's how it happens. Good gracious almighty. The money y'all want to bring this up. But in Israelite culture, in Israelite law, the father had the prerogative to allow a man to marry his wife. He allowed that. See? Yeah, excuse me. Yes, the father had the prerogative, the authority to allow his daughter to marry that man. Y'all gave him that in the book of the law. And I'm looking in the book of Exodus. Let's see what we want to go to. We got Exodus, we got Deuteronomy. Let's see. Let's go to Exodus chapter 22. Exodus 22nd chapter. And we're going to read in the 16th verse. It says, and if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, she's not engaged, not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. She's not his wife, so sex alone does not constitute marriage. He shall do the right thing that Mighty Yah is giving him an opportunity to. But let's say he want to do the right thing and marry her. Verse 17 says, if her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. So just like she got free will to marry anybody she want to? No. It was the father. As long as she was living in that father's house, no, absolutely not. The father's word was so strong that if his daughter made a vow while living in his house, made an oath, and the father heard it, he can disannul it. Now, he won't mention that about his son, but only the daughter. Then we go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 7. And right here it says, when Yah thy Elohim shall bring thee into the land where thou goest to possess it. And wouldn't that be beautiful for Israelites, parents, to get together and say, oh, my son, I want my son to marry your daughter. So we're going to talk with each other. We're going to talk. We're going to get this arranged. We're going to do this thing. So when they get old, I can pass my son off or my daughter off to another Israelite. And that's how families bond. That's how a nation, you want to talk about nation building, that's how a nation builds. With the laws of Yah. With the father and the imams, but they got to be in communication with one another. They got to be living amongst one another. And seeing how his child being raised, his daughter, is she been raised virtuously? Is she been raised as in the days of old? She's been prepared to be a wife. As she's coming out, she's been prepared. See, in the old days, they was They would get married at 15 and 16 years of age in the days of old. But today, a young girl could be, a woman could be 25, 30 years old, don't know how to boil a hot dog. Can't boil a hot dog. Can't make a meal at all for her house. Because mama, now today, had her baby at young, and she wasn't prepared. Mother didn't teach her what to do. She wasn't in the kitchen with moms, learning how to do things from scratch, learning how to cook and do these things. And there's certain things that women should know how to do. But you can't blame a lot of them because they wasn't showed that by anyone. So you can't take that out on them, your frustration. So with a man, if you know how to cook and do some things, you teach your wife. Then she can cook for you. Because you don't want to be the Betty Crocker in the kitchen. You don't want things out of order. And he's every night with the apron on. He's Mr. Betty Crocker. He's Betty Crocker. He cooked for a family. No. The things was in order with Israel. In order. Not that men can't cook, because some of your best chefs in the world are brothers. Brothers. When we get into the order of things, the mother being the nourisher of the child, being there, the man was out working in old times. A lot of women, they wasn't doing what they were doing today, getting jobs that men doing, men jobs and doing this stuff. Everything is, we live in a society that things is backward, Western culture, Western society, things is out of order. And today, most people that's married, both of them have to work just to sustain a living in slavery, in bondage. And a lot of the women gonna make more money than the men because it's always been castration against the black male. As always. So they want to pit the black woman against the black man to begin with. Pay her more money, give her a higher paying job. He can't tell me what to do. And they start making songs about it. My car, my purse, my shoes. I got it. My this. I got it. I that. I'm an independent woman. All this was set up by the system. Back in the old days, a woman on a system, she couldn't have a man living in the house with her. And they would oftentimes come out and inspect that house, find his shoes or something in there. Oh boy, it's done. So the system has always been set up against our people in this land, in the ways that things are just done. And right here in Deuteronomy 7 chapter, Yah said, when he bring thee into the land, where thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hittites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yah, thy Elohim, shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Do you like the children had it? What they was their choice? The man Yah said, thy daughter you don't give unto the other nation's son. And his daughter you don't take for your son. For they will turn away your sons and daughters from following me. See, the Ab and Ema, they have the power. But we so damn scared of 241 kids and everything else today. They liberate the children from the parents today. I don't let no European liberate my children from me. Wouldn't let them. It's time for me to get the bed out and tear that you know what up. I'm doing it. Because if you don't, the police will kill them, murder them. Let me say that. If you don't, the police will get their clubs out and kill them, murder them. They will do it, but they'll tell you, that you too hard on them. You see a little bruise on the child. Who did that? Mama, she with me last night. She did. Then they get to interrogating your child. So you got to teach your children when they go into these public schools and these school systems, when they should be, and I'm getting into that later in the lesson. We should be doing all this with the Israelite schools. But nevertheless, since we subject in our youth to these places, you got to educate them. Tell them, some come up, call Ema and Ab. Call your Ab and Ema. They got any questions about you, this, that, they call me. And you talk to your children when they get home. How did school go? What happened? Let me know. Be always, every day in constant communication with them. And a lot of these youth is getting bullied today. End up committing suicide because they don't even know how to tell mama, tell Abba. Next thing you know, child don't come up committing suicide. Why? Because he's been bullied. And the school system don't do nothing about it. They just, oh, the children were just playing and this and that. Is everything gonna be okay? Don't let that stuff go. That's your child. Be always in know what's going on with your children in these school systems. Because like I said, we targeted all around. If you're going to subjugate ourselves to these hospitals, to these children, you better know what to do and prepare yourself already if we're going to go that route. And Maria said he gave us this instruction on our children. So I want to bring that out and dealing with the book of Judges, the 14th chapter. And like I said, we on YouTube now. So anybody don't want to be on Facebook, you can go to YouTube channel, Yoel Israel, and pull it up on YouTube. But when we go back to Judges, the 14th chapter, look what it says. Because we're dealing with free will. And we give our children today free will to do anything, the liberties to do anything. I think that's cruel. You choosing somebody for them. That is so cruel. I can't imagine that. You do something like that. We go to Judges, the 14th chapter. Then we go down and we read verse 3 again. Said, then his father and his mother said to him, is there never a woman amongst the daughters of the brethren or amongst all my people that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised heathens? And Samson said unto his father, forget me her. I want her. O.J. Simpson said, I want this woman. I want her. Your relative saying, I want her. A black woman with this white man. I want him. I love him. I love him. And it's all about love today. See, y'all about that old time. I mean, about that. Because we all one blood and God loves everybody. And I love him. I love him. Bro, your daughter, man, she's homeless. She's lesbian. She bring her female lover back. Mom, I love her. I love her. Now you got Dwayne Wade and my beloved dark chocolate sister putting up with this crap because his son want to be a woman. That's a damn abomination. Then you got people pacifying them. Oh, we understand. And if he got a true friend, LeBron James or whoever it is, tell him, bro, that's wrong. That's wicked. And that's how you know when you got a true friend. They're going to tell you the truth. They're going to say about, well, that's just, that's, him. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. How you call yourself fear of the Most High and you putting up with something like that? No, my son, he got to go. I'm picking his bags, giving it to him. Go. Putting up with no stuff like that. What type of wickedness? And you encouraging the behavior. Nah, you give him a good butt whipping. You whip that tail and no, the rod is for the back of fools. And that's foolish behavior. That's wicked behavior. Wicked behavior. But nevertheless, verse 4 said, but his father and his mother knew not that it was what? Judges the 14th chapter 4 verse said, but his father and his mother knew not that it was of Yahweh that he saw an occasion against the Philistines. For at that time, the Philistines had dominion over Israel. So it was the mighty Yah whose spirit was leading Samson to do what he was doing. The Israelites at that time didn't understand it. And I told one of my beloved sisters, no matter how strong your will is, if the mighty Yah has something for you to do, you can't escape it. His will is going to override it. You can have it could have been Samson's heart, the will that want an Israelite woman, but no, the Philistines had dominion over the Israelites. And Yah, you took this occasion, he said, well, I'm going to do this. He's going to be a Nazarite from the womb, and he's going to deliver Israel. He was already ordained for this commission, folks. He didn't have no choice in the matter. He can tell y'all, no, I ain't doing this. Just like we go to another brother. Go to the book of Jonah. Go to the book of Jonah. And then I'm gonna, if my brother Shemaiah is listening, after this you can call in, but call in. Don't call in to area code 513. Don't call into that number, 377-5815. You want to call in to area code 513-546-7638. That's anybody. You want to call in at area code 513-546-7638, right? Is it 7368? 7368. Are we scared? Yes. But when we go to the book of Jonah, the book of Jonah, this is another man, and he was a prophet of the mighty Yah. Yes, indeed. Let's see what it says in the book of Jonah. Did Jonah have free will? Did the prophet Jonah have free will? Let's go to Jonah, the first chapter. And like I said, anybody got any questions or comments, just type it in by way of the internet, YouTube or Facebook. But in Jonah, the first chapter, it said, the word of Yah came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness is come up before me. But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of Yah, and went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish. So as we read the story, the mighty Yah told Jonah, go prophesy to Nineveh, because I'm going to destroy it, because their wickedness is come up unto me. And Jonah, he attempted to run from Yah. A lot of us, we try to attempt to run from our commission. But the hand of Yah will grab you. His spirit will be so heavy on you, he's gonna make you do what he wants you to do. And that's what he did with Jonah. And Jonah ran. And look what happened. Look what happened. It said, when he ran, we're going to start in verse number 4. It said, but Yah sent out a great wind into the sea, because Jonah ran from the presence of Yah. And there was a mighty tempest in the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken. Then the mariners were afraid and cried every man unto his God, like, man, why is the United States being plagued? What's happening? These floodings, this virus, these whirlwinds, the economy, what's going on? They're afraid. The economy is going to collapse. They didn't know. They don't know, realize it, because that the Creator's Son is here. And the Creator has proposed to bring judgments upon this land in the places where he scattered Israel. And this is what's taking place. So you are Jonah, Israel. And while you here being Jonah, it's up to you to cry against the wickedness of the United States. Cry against the wickedness of things that's going on in the motherland. You got to cry out against it. Don't run. Don't run. It said, but Jonah was gone down into the sides of the ship, and he lay and was fast asleep. He went to sleep. He said, boy, let me try to get get away from this commission. So I'm going to try to sleep myself away. It says, so the shipmasters came to him and said to him, what meanest thou, O sleeper? Arise, call upon thy Elohim, if it be so, that Elohim will think upon us that we perish not. And they said, everyone to his fellow, come and let us cast lots, that we may know for whose cause this is. Let us get a Ouija board or something. Let us try to ask the spirits, why are we doing this? Why is our nation going through this? Let's call David Blaine and Chris Angel and the sorcerers and magicians, and let's try to see if they could tell us something. Let's cast lots that we may know for whose cause this evil has come upon us. So they cast lots. Let's shoot some dice. Let's do something. And the lot fell upon Jonah. Then said they unto him, tell us, we pray thee, for who caused this evil is upon us. What is thy occupation? And whence comest thou? What is thy country? And of course, you ask the black man, America, the woman today, they don't know. They're totally lost. They are a man or woman that suffers amnesia. They don't know their country. They don't know their purpose, why they was born. But Jonah knew, and he said unto them, I am a Hebrew. I'm not a Hebrew Ishmaelite. I'm not a Hebrew Ishmaelite. I am a Hebrew Israelite. And I fear Yahweh. I fear the mighty Yahuwah. I fear the Ahaya. I feel El Shaddai, the Elohim of heaven. He rules. He's the King of kings. He's the Lord of lords. He's the one that said, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. And there is none that can deliver out of my hand. Absolutely none. I serve the Elohim of the heavens above and the Elohim of the earth beneath. And he said, which have made the sea and the dry land. Then were the men exceedingly afraid and said unto him, because they knew. Now they dealing with the one that brought Egypt down. Now they dealing with the one that brought Babylon down. Now they dealing with the one that did this, went through the land of Canaan. So they know they dealing with a Pacific Elohim. And he said, why hast thou done this? For the men knew not that he fled from the presence of Yah, because he had told them. Then said they unto him, what shall we do unto thee, that the sea may be calm unto us? Now see, Trump, they ain't asking the questions yet. They ain't seeking out true Israel. What can we do to stop this? To stop this? Well, let me tell you what you can do. You can give us our 40 acres and a mule, our reparations restitution. First, you got to make amends. You got to apologize for slavery. You got to make some amends. Your whole administration got to apologize for slavery and say it was wrong. Our forefathers was low life cutthroats. They shouldn't have did it. We abhor what they did. We wasn't there at that time, you know, but we're here now to make some amends and do that which is right. And we want to give y'all money. We want to give you the gold, because we don't want the dollar bill. We want the gold. The gold and silver, as y'all prophesied. So we want y'all to just, hey, hand over that gold, because it's coming with us anyway, whether you like it or not. But you want to make some amends, Mr. Trump, and your administration. And tell the world that the Ashkenazis, the Jewish man that's in the state of Israel, they are imposters. They ain't the people. We got the people here with us. And we no longer going to protect them. We're no longer going to shelter them. We're no longer going to allow them and give them $1 billion a year, because they are a welfare state. And we're going to give the true people of the book, the chosen seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, we're going to give them money. But we're going to give them gold. We're going to give them their reparations and restitution. And as for these people over there in the land, no, we ain't bothered with them. They ain't the people of the book. They've been fooling the world for years. Imposters, practicing Judaism. So you got to make amends, Mr. Trump, in your administration. So that's what you can do. And he said unto them, take me up and cast me forth into the sea. Yes. Bring them ships of Tarshish. Get them airplanes ready, those swift beasts to take our people back home. Yes. So that's what you can do. And so shall the sea be calm. If you want your land to be calm for a time in the season, you got to get us up out of here. Because the longer you keep us, the more it's going to be plagued. The more death and destruction you're going to see. For I know that for my sake, the great tempest is upon you, and we know it as well. We know for our sake, that's why these lands is catching hell today. And those that ain't serving Yah gonna catch hell. Although they Israel by birth, they're gonna catch hell too. And the only ones that are gonna be guarded from according to the word of Yah and according to the book, it ain't gonna be fearing about, they ain't gonna be thinking about putting on no mask, because a mask can't protect you from the wrath of the Most High. You actually believe, and Israelites hate it when I talk about those masks. You actually believe after reading this book, and you all would think I'm gonna get on the podium and teach Yahweh's chosen people to put on masks and teach. See, that's what the scripture said. The fear of Yah is taught by the precepts of men. It's taught by the precepts of men. It's nowhere in the book. The money y'all said. He said it won't even come near your dwelling. If you with him, if you serving him, and you want to look like Spider-Man and Batman and walking out in the streets looking like a damn fool, I'm saying like it looking like a damn fool. Wearing a mask on your face as if you got to protect you from the wrath of Yah. And the stuff is not even coming from an airborne virus. Negroes. But we believe everything that the white man tells us. We sold and bought. We've been so lied to for so many years. And you've been trusted in a man. And common sense will tell you that if a man won't treat you right, he won't teach you right. Y'all put y'all trust in this man. Don't worry, brother, he's gonna come forth today and deal with the 400 years. He wants to speak on it for briefly, and I'm gonna let him. But in the meantime, I have to speak on this. It said verse 14 in Jonah, the first chapter, they cried unto Yah and said, we beseech thee, O Yah, let us not perish for this man's life, and lay not upon us innocent blood, for thou don't be like us in Christians. We don't want no innocent blood on our hand. It says, so they took up Jonah and cast him forth into the sea, and the sea ceased from raging. Then the men feared Yah exceedingly, and offered sacrifice unto Yah, and made vows. And Yah prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah. And Jonah was in the belly of the fish. And we know that story, 3 days and 3 nights. He couldn't run. He didn't have free will to run from Yah. What Yah was sending to do, he's going to do it. And you're going to do it, whether you want to or not. Some of you already think of, oh, I didn't want to say that. Now, why did I say that? Why did I get that out? I tried to tell them what thus saith Yah. I didn't want to hurt their feelings. I didn't want to hurt my in-law feelings, but I was compelled. I had to. Some things you was born and created to do. You was just born and created to do. But Israel, like nation, you have a choice to choose between life and death. I'm just showing out different scriptures where things was done by the will of Yah. Just like in ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt. The Pharaoh wanted to let Israel go. But according to the scripture said that Yah said, no, I'm going to harden his heart that he would not let Israel go. I'm going to harden his heart. And this is what it says. You go to the book of Proverbs. Look at this. In the 16th chapter of Proverbs. Proverbs 16. Any questions or comments? Any questions? Proverbs 16. Look what it says. In the book of Proverbs, the 16th chapter, the 4th verse, it says, Yah have made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Yah said, I made one vessel for my honor, and I created one vessel for my dishonor. And sometimes the wicked are even estranged from the womb. They're estranged from the womb, as scriptures say. As soon as they be born, they go astray speaking lies. And that might be hard for a lot of you to conceive that somebody can be born from the womb just wicked. They're just evil. And always been evil, always been no good. From the womb. From the womb. And these are scriptures. I'm not bringing out my own opinion. I'm bringing out scriptures. Some people are wicked, estranged from the womb. Now we can tear this out the book if we don't like it. But that's what it says in Psalms 58 and verse 3. It said the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Psalms 58 verse 3. And of course, who could have told Jeremiah that he wasn't a prophet? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, the 1st chapter. Let's go to Jeremiah, the 1st chapter. Jeremiah chapter 1. Jeremiah, the 1st chapter. Look what it says in Jeremiah chapter 1. It says in verse number 4, it said that the word of Yah came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet amongst the nations. Before you was even formed in the womb, Jeremiah, the mighty Yah said, I knew you. Before you even came out, he said, I sanctified you. I ordained you to be a prophet amongst unto the nations. Then look what Jeremiah said. It didn't say, Yah Elohim, I cannot speak, for I am a child. And Yah said to them, say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee. Could Jeremiah tell the prophet Yah no? Can Jeremiah the prophet tell Yah no? No. He was commissioned to do this work. He was already commissioned. Just like King David, he's ordained to come back and be king over Israel. That's prophecy. Prophecy. So some people, a lot of people, most people have your free will card. Most people is not prophets. Most people is not like Pharaoh. So you got free will, but Yah will do things, and just to show you what he did with Pharaoh. Go to the book of Exodus. Go to Exodus, the 7th chapter. And this is what he said about the Pharaoh in Exodus, the 7th chapter. In Exodus chapter 7, we're going to read verse number 1. It said, and Yah said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart. Who said they will harden Pharaoh's heart? The mighty Yah said, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt, that Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth my armies and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments, because Yah wanted his name to be proclaimed throughout the whole land. See, he just didn't want to do one or two things. No, he wanted to bring all his judgments upon Egypt, just like he's doing today. He's just not going to just do one thing or two things. He's just not going to bring no whirlwinds or hurricanes or no floods here or no earthquake. No, he's going to do many things. You're going to see a lot of his judgments: locusts, pestilence, drought, starvation, people eating their own children. You're going to see a lot of things in this land before you leave up out of here. His judgments. And then we said in the Exodus, the 9th chapter. In chapter 9 of Exodus, the 15th verse, he said, for now I will stretch out my hand that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, with coronavirus. For those that believe it's the pestilence, I'm going to smite them with pestilence, Ebola outbreaks. And thou shalt be cut off from the earth. And in very deed, for this cause have I raised thee up to show thee, Trump, and the administration and the people of the world, the earth, my power, and that my name may be declared throughout the whole earth. So this is global pandemic. This is global, what some say 5G, where rays can emit and hit your body that give you the effects of a virus, as if your body is catching the cold, getting the flu. These rays that they're using. And people got people in their houses dying. Ain't went nowhere. And they dying of coronavirus, so they saying. It ain't gone nowhere. Ain't been out the house. Too old to get out the house. So you can buy and hook and line all this stuff, but all this stuff is they just want to vaccinate Israel. And we're going to get into it later, and I'm going to tell y'all why they want to vaccinate Israel. That's all it's about. Bill Gates and his agenda and a hierarchy. And the mighty Yah say in verse 16, and it is in very deed, for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all of. He said, I'll raise you up. Yes, Pharaoh was wicked from the womb. And the mighty Yah said, the wicked are estranged from the womb. He was already wicked from the womb. You know, y'all, but y'all say, I'll raise you up. And Pharaoh was the firstborn of Egypt. Y'all weren't going to kill you. Y'all didn't know I'm going to leave him. Raise him up to show all of Egypt, to show the Canaanite nations, all the nations round about what I'm about. They're going to know my fame, and they're going to learn of my glory. They're going to know what I did in Egypt, how I brought down one of the most ancient, great civilizations that's known for their geometry, chemistry, you name it. You name it. They was known for knowledge, science. And y'all said, but they're not, no man and no kingdom is greater than me. I'm the one that gives man's knowledge. I'm the one that lift up, and I'm the one that brings down. I'm the one that scattered the Egyptians. Now, you won't read that in the book of the dead. You won't read that in any hieroglyphs of Egypt, but you will read it in the prophets. The Yah said he scattered the Egyptians. He said that Egypt will be a base kingdom. They will be the basis of all kingdoms, and it will no more be the strength of the children of Israel. That's what he recorded in the prophets. Now, who would know that except a high intelligent mind? That the true Egyptians are not even in Egypt, folks. And when you're dealing with ancient dynasties, when you're dealing with the ancient Chinese, the ancient so-called Japanese, these all were black people, people of color, black nations. So this is happening today. So we dealt with uncleanness law. We dealt with Esau. We dealt with free will. Now, my brother, if you're listening, call area code 513-546 7368. 7368. That's 513-696-7368. 513, again, Brother Shemaiah. 513-546-7368. Call in. Because he wants to deal with the 400 years. Because I'm gonna deal with these hospitals. These hospitals and where we at today. Where we at today. Matter of fact, let me say, is Antioch. Is she on? Well, call her up. Yeah, call her up and tell her to call. Yeah, call her up and tell her to call. So I'm gonna make sure he get this information out that he wants Israel to know about the 400 year. But in the meantime, go to the book of Psalms, the 91st chapter. And I'm not trying to be mean with Israel or hard on Israel, but we claim that we trust in the Most High. But look what it says in the book of Psalms, the 91st chapter. The Yah said in verse number, now do we believe this? I'm challenging Israel with this. Do you believe this? In verse number 5, this is just gibberish. It said, thou should not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come near thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made Yah, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall there any plague come near thy dwelling. So what? So I need somebody to call in and help me. I need some help. Call in area code 513-546-7368. Help me out. Help me to understand, because I don't see what an Israelite doing that claims to fear Yah, know Yah, and read these scriptures. We'll be worried about putting on masks. Your fear don't supposed to be the fear of the heathens. Well, if your fear is the fear of the heathens, there's something that's wrong. And if any teacher, I bar none, is teaching you that, regardless who it is, because they can't show you no scripture to justify that, putting on mask stuff while you serving Yah, you just can't. After reading this, then my Yah said it won't come near you. And if you want to say it's a pestilence, it's a pestilence. It won't come near you. So make sense of this for me. I don't understand what this is saying. Maybe this is talking about other people of the other nations. Maybe this Psalms 91 is talking about the heathen. That they're going to be, explain this to me. Somebody call in and explains this Psalms 91 to me and tell me why you still wearing a mask. Tell me you still got to use your wisdom though, Joel. I know what the book's saying, but come on, brother. We in captivity. And that's talking about people that's in the land. Tell me that. Tell me something. Help me. Please, please, please. Help me out. Because you cannot read this and then go out looking like Spider-Man. Just can't. There's the total contradiction of the word of what you're reading. Sound like Christians to me. Sound like a bunch of Christians. Good gracious Almighty. But does anyone have any comments on this? Anyone comments on YouTube? Make sure, because I don't want to miss nobody comments or statements that they may have. YouTube or Facebook. No comments or questions. If not, we're going to deal with these hospitals. These hospitals. I'm going to read something. Give y'all something I'm dealing with this. Dealing with is that him?
Yeah, I believe so. Shalom.
Shalom?
Shalom, how you doing?
Okay. Hold on for 1 minute, my beloved brother. We're gonna get you on speakerphone so everybody can hear you. This is my beloved brother out of Chicago, known as Shemaiah Israel. Some of you know him as his former Moshe. And he's here to speak, to bring a message to you all, and it's all in love. To those of y'all that don't know him, I want him to introduce himself to the public. Tell him a little bit about yourself, my brother, if you wish, and go in from there.
Yes. Can you hear am I clear?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I just hope I'm not.
Is it up?
That's all. Let me begin by saying,
Let's make sure people
listening. Glory to the mighty Yah. It's always a blessing to be alive.
Let's put it down so
to see the sunshine. And that reminds me, every day I wake up that he's having mercy on me daily. Glory to the King. Let me also say, beloved, you forgot to say Black Rabbi. I got used to you saying that.
Black Rabbi, yes, my Black Rabbi brother.
We'll deal with that later, but I'm excited to bring forth this information. I'm overwhelmed with joy that you continue to allow me to bring forth great news to the people. And let me say this before I get started. I don't know everything. If I'm wrong, call in, show me my error, and I would definitely investigate to see if I need to change what I'm teaching. I don't know everything. I don't want you all to think I know everything. I'm merely a messenger, a Malak of the Most High. Malak sent with me. I'm just a messenger. I say what was revealed to me, and then that's it. It's not personal. It's not a personal attack. It's not a who's smarter than who thing. I've done research, glory to the Most High, and I want to present some of my findings with those that will listen regarding this 400-year will be free, August the 20th. I may be the bearer of bad news, what I'm going to reveal, but it should be good news that you know this. And maybe you can backtrack on some statements that a lot of you all may have said, that you can take a closer look at it.
Okay.
But let me begin, first of all, And for Sister Rachel, I won't be long-winded. You don't got to text me and tell me to shut up. So I won't do that this time. I will just bring forth the lesson with the scriptures, the presentation, if you will. Joel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
If you don't mind, it may be is it a second delay, or are you hearing me on real time?
I'm hearing you sound like on real time.
Can you please go to the book of Ezekiel, the second chapter? Most of these scriptures I'll be reading, it's just one verse stuff. I don't want to bore you out of your mind. Ezekiel, the second chapter. Let me know when you're there.
Go ahead, I'm there.
Just verse 7. That's all. Verse 7.
Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 7. And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are most rebellious.
That's it. That's it and that's all. That's what I'm doing. I'm just speaking what I believe the Most High has revealed to me. I'm nothing. You don't have to put much into what I'm saying that he thinks he's this and he thinks he's that. I'm not interested. I merely share with you all the great news. If you can do this for me, if you will, can you please, beloved,
Yes.
go to the book of Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what chapter?
Verse chapter 4. Deuteronomy chapter 4. And again, people, don't get upset with me. I'm just revealing what I believe the mighty Yah allowed me to gain a little understanding on.
Okay.
Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, read one verse. Chapter 4, read verse number 2. Go ahead.
Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish out from it, that ye may keep the commandments of Yah, your Elohim, which I command you.
You notice something that is in this verse that you all didn't see? They did say, don't add or take from the Bible. It didn't say that, folks. It said the word. So I don't want you all to think that this is an attack on the Bible. I read the Bible. Most of what I'm going to present is coming from the Bible. But I don't read the Bible the way most people read the Bible. I try my best to read the Bible from the mindset of our forefathers.
Yes.
I try to submerge myself in how would they have read this? What could this have said back then? And you can easily find those things out when you have a little bit more understanding of what you're reading. Again, in verse 10, Deuteronomy 4 and 2. Read again, beloved.
Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish out from it.
It never said the Bible, so don't think this is an attack on the Bible because I'm reading the Bible. I just want to plant that seed, and hopefully you will allow the Most High to water it and give you the increase. The next book I want to go to, beloved, is go to the book of Ezekiel, the 18th chapter. Ezekiel, the 18th chapter.
Okay.
Read verse 23. One verse, verse 23.
It says, have I any pleasure at all that the wicked should die, saith Yah, and not that the wicked should return from his ways and live?
This is what I'm totally about. I'm not interested in telling somebody that because they don't know something, they're going to hell. Because they don't know something, they're wicked. Because they don't know something, they should be ashamed of themselves. Because they don't know something, they shouldn't be a damn teacher. They shouldn't be standing up there saying nothing. That's not my position. I represent mercy. If a person don't know, they don't know. The only issue that bothers me is those that you show them something and it's clear as day and they don't want to see it. It's one thing to say you know something, and it's another thing to say, I don't want to believe it. That's okay too. But you're not going to ever hear me say you cut off because you don't believe something that I believe. Because that's not the man of the Most High. He's full of mercy.
Yes, he is.
Now, we're dealing with this 400-year thing. For those that may be listening to this, for those that may follow my page and play it back because my name shows up on the thread. I am an Israelite. This is not a religion. This is not something that I think. This is not something that I believe. I know I'm an Israelite according to Deuteronomy 28th chapter. What Deuteronomy 28th chapter spells out is what my life is today and what I see around me with my people.
Yes.
Glory to the Most High Yah. So this is not a racist verse that I'm going to read. If I don't want to offend nobody that's listening, because I'm not into that. Go to the book of Psalms 147.
Okay. Hold on 1 minute. Is that Psalms 147?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me get it. The Psalms 147. Hold up for 1 minute, Shemaiah. Okay, Psalms 147. Yes, what verse?
Read 19 through 20.
19 to 20. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He had not dealt so with any nation, and as for judgments, they have not known them. Praise Yah.
I didn't make that up. I'm just merely reading what you all call the Bible. I believe this.
Yes.
That what the Most High gave, it was for me. I believe that, according to what I'm reading, that according to the book of Deuteronomy 28th chapter, we are the lost sheep of Israel. Go to the book of Amos, the 3rd chapter.
Okay.
Amos 3, read verse 1 and 2.
Is it Amos chapter 3?
Verse 1 and 2. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
I have to bring my screen back up. My screen was going dark for me. Amos chapter 3. There's some good scriptures you're bringing out, brother. Verse 1 says, hear this word that Yah has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. Yes.
See? Now we wonder why we are going through this as a nation of people. This is the ugly stuff that people don't like to accept. How could y'all God, so-called God, do this? Because we ain't listen to him. He made us like this. No. Everybody have a choice. We all do.
Yes.
And he's still good to you because you alive and you talking and you can fix your mouth to even speak against them. That's called mercy.
Yes. You're right, brother.
He's still showing you mercy by allowing you to speak foolish. That's how merciful the Creator that we serve is. On who happen to be the mighty Yahuwah. And for you all, you may say God, the Creator. But why am I saying all of this? In the book of Isaiah, the 9th chapter, in the 16th verse, it talks about the leaders have called the people to err. A lot of our leaders have caused the people to err. And the reason I'm saying this is because it's leading me right into this 400 years of captivity. When we read this, we need full understanding on what we're reading. And believe me, folks, this lesson is a lot longer than what you all are hearing. I'm just giving you all a brief snippet of what it is until I get out there. Glory to y'all. They do it live in Cincinnati, so you all can see my face. Baruch Hashem Yah. But let's get to the thick of things. I want to establish that I'm nothing. You don't got to look at me as like what I said is the absolute truth. Investigate me. See if I lied. Dig up some stuff. Educate me. I don't know everything. Show me. But we're going to deal with this 400 years of captivity. And it ain't much I'm going to say on it. I just want to bring out some stuff to make you really, really, really think.
Okay.
In the book of Ecclesiasticus, the 39th chapter, I'm sure you don't have that on your hand, do you?
Ecclesiasticus? No, I don't have it. No, I don't have it on.
I'll read it. Ecclesiasticus, the 39th chapter, we're going to read one verse. It is otherwise with the man who devotes his soul to reflecting on Torah of the Most High. He researches unto the wisdom of all the ancients. You notice he said he researches to the wisdom of all the ancients. Our forefathers never had a holy Bible. They never had that. They had the word.
Right.
The writings of the mighty Yahuwah. And you can find writings in many different places. It's not all confounded in one book. Well, why am I saying this? Let's ask ourselves this with this 400 years of captivity. Where are you? I know this is worldwide on the internet, especially on YouTube. People may run across this from all over the face of the earth. I'm going to try to deal with it where a lot of you all are at Israel. But I want to focus just a little bit on those that's here in the United States of America. When you read the scriptures, where are you at? The Americans, the Israelites that's here in America.
Right.
Where are you when you read the scriptures? Where are you? I got a real interesting point I want to share with you. And I hope you take heed to it and investigate and see if I lied to you.
Yes, we got. Yes.
I'm willing to learn. Let's take a close look at the book of Isaiah, the 11th chapter.
Isaiah chapter 11?
Yes, sir. Well, I want to stumble over something.
Okay.
I call it stumble over something.
We're dealing with the 400 years if you just tuned in. Yes.
Go to the book of Isaiah, the 11th chapter, and the 11th verse. Read just the 11th verse first. Do you got it, or do I need
Yes, I got it. It says,
read it, sir.
And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall set his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations.
Stop right there. In verse 11, when he named those countries, start with the first one, Assyria.
And from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea.
Where's the islands of the sea at? Where's that? What is that talking the islands of the sea. Where is that? Where is that and who is that?
Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, the so-called Rastamans.
Oh, man, okay, now watch this. Now watch this. See, we're digging into something. If the last one he just said, and from the islands of the sea, watch this. Now read verse 12.
And he shall set up a ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth.
Now, is Yehudah in the isles of the sea? According to what we're reading, is Yehudah in the isles of the sea? Is Yehudah in
Yes.
Syria? Is Yehudah in Cush? Is Yehudah in the four corners of the earth? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. We're everywhere. We're in all parts of the earth. So where did we get 400 years from? This is not an attack on anybody. This is to educate my brothers and sisters that's in Jamaica, my brothers and sisters that's in Haiti, those that's in Brazil, those that's in Dominican Republic, those that's in Cuba. This is
Yes.
for all of Israel, all over.
Yes.
The four corners of the entire earth.
Yes.
Now, let me read some statistics to you,
Okay.
and hopefully you all will meditate on this.
Okay.
Since we just established that in the book of Isaiah, 11, chapter 11 and 12, Yehudah is in all four corners of the earth.
Yes.
So let's start with seeing in Jamaica. The slaves arrived in Jamaica in 1513. We're at 2020 right now. That's 507 years.
Yes.
So according to what's being said today, that August the 20th, 2020, we'll be free. Is Jamaica free? They're over 100 years now. Is Jamaica free? Who is there? Are they free? Hell no. I'll answer it for you. Now let's go to Brazil. Brazil, they arrived there in 1530. It's 2020 right now. They've been in captivity now over there in Brazil for 507 years as well. Are they free? No. They're 100 years now. Or were they 400? They're not free. Let's go to Haiti. The slaves got there by way of the Atlantic slave trade. They got there in 1505. It's 2020 now. They've been in captivity in Haiti now for 515 years. Why they not free? They 400 years been up. Yehudah is there. Let's reason with each other, folks, and let's get out of our feelings when we're teaching. We can't teach like we know everything. We have to always remind with an open mind that I can always be taught something. Let's go to the next one. The next one is Portuguese. They arrived in Portuguese in 1444. It's 2020 now. They've been in captivity, Israel been in captivity in Portuguese for 576 years. Yehudah is there too. How do I know that? Because the scripture said in the four corners of the earth. We everywhere.
Right.
They're not free. And also, I haven't even named the countries like France.
Yes.
France been there for 388 years. They haven't even made their 400 yet. The Dutch been there for 424 years. We still over there. We haven't made our 400. We over 400 years in the Dutch Empire too. They've been in captivity 424 years. and Dutch.
Hmm.
In Iraq, it's been over 1,000 years. Do the research. I've done it. If my research is wrong, I stand to be corrected. But what am I getting at here? When you have a mindset of only in America, we're not teaching American history. We're teaching Israelite history. When you're teaching Israelite history, you cannot subject yourself to American history. You're teaching everybody that's in the four corners of the earth if you're a teacher.
Yes.
You can't focus just on where you at.
Yes. Israelites in America. You right? As we scattered, brother. You right?
When the money I said we would be dispersed in the four corners of the earth, the heavenly creator, the king of the universe. He didn't just say America. America not to tell all, do all. Did you all not know in other countries, they don't even read what we read? They don't read what we read.
You're referencing to the King James Version?
Yes, sir. My apologies. The King James Version Bible. In other countries, that's Israelites. I was watching YouTube of this Israelite brother he's somewhere in Africa. Well, he reads all these books. So he's coming through information that's foreign even to me. Because some of the information he's reading out of some of the books that he's using, I never heard before. Well, I'm not going to say he don't know what the hell he's talking about. What I'm going to do is investigate and see how can I use what he got to enhance what I know. That's what it's about. Now, the question that I'm asking, I'm posing this to anybody. If you don't know, call in next week. Because I don't know. But I'm asking a question. And I don't know the answer. But my Israelite family, maybe you all can help me, those that's maybe learned in this. When the books talk about 400 years in captivity, and we will be free, our captivity is over. What exactly is that talking about? If 400 years is way past, way over, and those countries are just named. I don't know the answer, people.
Right.
I don't know the answer. Could anybody call in or call in next week after you do some research and help me understand if 400 years is over and those countries are named, why aren't we home free? Because slaves went to each country different years. The first slave around at different times in different nations. Don't be afraid. Give it a shot. Because we're all Israel. And we all are reading the same scriptures in that King James Version Bible. If you show me that there's some folly, that scripture is wrong, hey, it's wrong. But just share it with me. I don't know. The whole purpose of me doing this presentation is to show that Israelites been in captivity way more than 400 years in other countries. And we got this big hoopla about 400 years in America. Israel is much greater than America. This ain't the only damn place we at.
It's true.
If anybody have an answer, allow them to call there, Brother Yoel. And even if you can answer me, I don't know. Why are the Israelites still in captivity in them other countries, and they've been in the countries well over 400 years? Even if you have an answer, I'll stand and listen, brother. Go ahead.
Well, let me tell you, from my study and when you even looking at the time period that our people was in ancient Egypt, I know they wasn't in ancient Egypt for 400 years. So one might say, well, that take us back to Genesis the 15th chapter. that prophecy in that chapter, is that 400 years, is that accurate? Is that correct? Or is y'all going by the last slave ship and not by the first slave ship? See, we don't know when y'all counting. Matter of fact, when I asked Israel, what calendars are you even using to count your 400 years? I haven't heard one Israelite say, I'm using a lunar and solar calendar. I'm using the solar calendar only. I'm using the Enoch calendar. I'm using the calendar that going by just the moon. All I'm hearing the Israelites is saying, I'm using the heathens calendar. And of course, the heathen calendar has 1 day extra in the year on it. So when you're dealing with 400 years, to that point, that time period, even from 1619 to 20, if you even go from 1619 to 2019, this heathen has a 365-day calendar year. We know that's wrong. So that by that calculation alone, that's more than 400 years. Just by that calculating alone. That's not y'all years. And I've been wanting to answer to that. Because y'all said the lights shall be for signs, seasons, days, and years. So I asked all Israelites, whether they dealing with the 360-day a year, 364-day a year calendar, whether they dealing with a 13th month in the year calendar, whatever calendar they use it, how are you calculating the 400 years? And I haven't got an answer yet. So all of us, for what I'm going by, since I don't get answers, is going by the heathen calendar, which is 365 days in that calendar year, in which they have an extra day in their year. And if you're going by a 360-day calendar, then you got to say, man, they got 5 days more in their calendar. I haven't had things explained to me. So, though I said, is he going by the first slave ship or the last slave ship? And that's a fact. Now, I don't give a damn if Israel get mad at me or not. If you can't back up what you teaching, you don't need to be teaching it. That is plain and simple. I'm straight to the point. If you can't back up what you're teaching, your doctor, you don't need to be teaching that, because then it becomes dangerous. But yes, go ahead.
Well, that was very beautiful to me. I can only present what I know. I don't like to present nothing that I don't have an answer to. My reason for this lesson is the chatter that's going on about the 400 years in August 2020. And I said to myself, that couldn't be the truth, because Israelite slaves are in captivity all over the world. And they 400 years been up. Why aren't they free? And then it was brought to my attention, well, Yehuda is second. So are you telling me all of Yehuda is in America? That don't make that's no, stop. Knock it off and just admit, maybe I gotta go back to the drawing board because I'm in error. And don't get it twisted. If it's true, I would be the first to say, praise the mighty Yah. Let's ride on out of here. Yeah. But according to this math that I'm looking at, it's far from the truth. Far from it.
Well, sister said,
that's in Jamaica.
Yes.
They 400 years been up. In Haiti, in Brazil, it's been up.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
Yes. And I mean, they got to, and Israel got to answer the question. Just answer the question. That's all. Sister said any leader of Israel should be careful to introduce teachings to y'all's people and then say, I don't know, maybe one can show me. This teaching is confusing and is open to mere speculation. While saying you don't know everything, what's your take? You ask me what's what's your take your way? I guess she's quoting you.
You know something else, brother? Let me say this real quick. In the book of Isaiah, the 11th chapter, this scripture we've been dealing with for over 25 years. And I remember the elder breaking this down about the islands of the sea. He used to always read the scripture and get to that part at the bottom of verse 11 and say, there we go right there, America, the isles of the sea. But I didn't want to get off into explaining that because I want to make sure I got full command over how do we identify America as being part of the isles of the sea. But he would always say that. But it just concerned me that how can somebody make a bold statement like that with so much information available?
Hmm.
For all of those that are listening in Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, that may run across this a year from today, we're called the nation of Israel. This is not a camp thing, a class thing, a group thing, an organization thing, a religious thing. This is the nation of Israel. You all are included in that as well. You all are a part of us. We're all a family. And when the mighty Yah say we got to join ourselves together,
yeah.
You're talking about you too.
Yeah.
Those Israelites in Brazil. There's more Israelites in Brazil than anywhere on the face of the earth. Those Israelites in Brazil, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico.
Yes.
All of those nations. Greece, Britain, name somewhere. When you say join together, that's all of us. Not that these little camps in America.
Right.
It's all of us. And then we will realize how mighty we are when we serve in Him. Because we don't have a military. We ain't got no guns. We get the little stuff we got ain't nothing.
Hmm.
We don't have a military like that. But what we do got is the Most High and their mighty angels. And when they wrap their wings around us, they ain't a weapon in the world that could touch us. But we haven't tapped into the power of the Most High because we will simply put to the side our doctrinal differences and come together.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, while you talking, as I said earlier, before you was on, brother, he called me the other night and he wanted to invite me on a phone conference about discussing what's going on in Goshen. And that's down in Atlanta, a place that my brothers call Goshen. And in this place, they got Israelites, because we all Messianic. But amongst this place, you have Torah, what they call Old Testament only, and you got New Testament brothers and sisters. They all stand in this place called Goshen. And of course, he wanted me to get on and give my take on it. Should this be happening? Should this be going on? And of course, I didn't have time to get on because I was studying. But I'm going to address it a little bit today.
Hey, brother, finish. Glory to the mighty Yah. Finish doing your presentation. I'll sit back and enjoy it. I want to thank you for allowing me to present just this little snippet to the people. And hopefully they'll allow the Most High to give them the increase on it. And glory to the Most High, Baruch Hashem. And if you continue to allow whatever going on in the world to ease up and they unleash this, they take away this traveling ban, I'm going to be on the first thing smoking glory to Yah in Cincinnati to do this show and celebrate and praise the Most High. And I can't wait to see you and your family. Glory to the Most High, brother. And shalom, shalom, and I'll continue to listen. Shalom.
All right, shalom, shalom, brother. Peace and blessings. And Todah Yah, thank you for calling in and just sharing your take on it, the 400 years. And it's not personal. And I don't want anybody that's listening to think it's personal. It's just sincere questions that people have about the 400 year, because there's always been speculation of was that speaking about Egypt, ancient Kemet, or was it speaking about this today? And a lot of the Israelites that I talk to today, they think it's just merely talking about the United States. And my thing always been, how could that be when Israel, we are scattered people? So I know it's just not talking about the United States, but when you read that prophecy, it says, in that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterwards should they come out with great substance. So some things in the book just may be wrong, just ain't right. Just maybe a bad interpretation of things. So, but Yah will reveal all things in due time. And we just have to wait and see. Because 2019 has come and gone, folks. August 19, 2019 has come and gone. And so now we waiting on August the 20th, 2020 to see. And if that comes and goes, then what next, Israel? Then what next? I think that was an important question to ask. Then what next? And I always tell Israelites, I always tell y'all this. Just wait patiently on Yah and be ready. So when the time do come, you're already fearing the Most High, keeping His commandments. You're ready to get up out of here. But when you start looking for dates and start looking for this and that, not that dates and time things ain't important, because a lot of times it is important. But when you're looking for something and it don't happen, a lot of people lose faith. They lose hope. They lose trust because you told them this date. And if it don't come to pass, then I done seen Israel walk away from the Most High because of things that were said by leaders and things that were said by other Israel. And they put all their trust in what was said. And when it didn't happen, it was like, oh boy, y'all let me down. No, y'all don't let us down. Man do. So I don't put all my trust in man. I don't put my trust in this heathen because he's known to be a liar. Known to be his whole history. Now getting into these hospitals. And I told Israel, stay the hell out these hospitals. Stay the hell out. And dealing with this virus. Let me tell y'all, since this virus, what they call this coronavirus has hit, according to the stats, more African American people has died due to this virus than any other people, any other ethnicity. Right down in Milwaukee, they said it started by an affluent whites in suburb. Then it took root in the city black community and erupted in Milwaukee. And it was like in early, when it first came out. And the thing is about this, they said, and in Milwaukee, the life expectancy for African American people is 14 years already shorter on average than their white counterpart. That's the stats they keep, the records they keep. And as a whole, the black man and woman, his life expectancy is shorter than any other race of people. And they said it's shorter on average. They said due to environmental and economic and political factors. It's due to, they say, in our people is at higher risk of chronic conditions that affects the lungs, the heart, the immune system. They say, well, I know that. They said asthma, heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, and all these things makes it more acceptable to you getting the virus. So they say. And a black man in America is. Black woman too. I can't leave her out. Stressed out. Black man stressed out on a job. You can stress yourself out just talking to Israelites on Facebook. You can stress yourself out. That's why sometimes you give yourself a break off of Facebook. Because I'll tell you, because Negroes know how to can get under your skin. So sometimes it's best to leave it alone. Get away. Get away. But we die from hypertension, stress, strokes. We die in so many facets. And they said over the 945 cases in Milwaukee, 81% of its 27 deaths in a county whose population is 26% African American. But most of the cases is our people. Most of the cases. And most of the deaths. And not only in Milwaukee, in Illinois, in Carolina, in Atlanta, they say 80% of the cases is from our people in the ATL. And why is this? Why is this virus or this 5G things taking effect on our people? Well, it's simple. It's real simple. If you go to the book of Exodus, go to the book of Exodus, the 15th chapter. I believe this is where we want to go to. It's real simple. And this is what the mighty Yah said in the book of Exodus, the 15th chapter. And he says it in verse number 25. And he said, he cried unto Yah. And Yah showed him a tree which he had cast into the waters. Speaking about Moses when he prayed unto Yah. And the waters was made sweet because the Israelites, they was crying, they was complaining. Give us water to drink, give us flesh. And said, there he made for them a statute and ordinance, and there he proved Israel. And Yah always proved Israel. True Israel. He gonna prove you. And he said, if thou will diligently hearken to the voice of Yah, thy Elohim, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments and keep all his statutes, he said, I will put none of the diseases upon thee, which I brought upon the Egyptians. For I am Yah that healeth thee. That healeth thee. Somebody else said, I won't bring these diseases upon you. If you're obedient, if you obey my voice. That's why in the Psalm 91 it said, there shall no plague come to those that fear Yah. The pestilence won't even touch you. But if you're disobedient, if you're a rebel, expect to get plagued. Expect to get the pestilence poured on you. And most of our people today, they're going in these hospitals for whatever illness, and they're coming out dead. Coming out dead. Right in the hospital. One lady went in the hospital, supposed to have a virus, and they told the family that she passed away due to the virus. And lo and behold, the family finds out that, hey, we want to see her. So they get back to the room, and lo and behold, they see their mama, their grandmama, sister, and leg cut off, leg gone. And she's still on the table breathing, but they done butchered her up. A lot of you all going in these hospitals for this and for that, having children, and the process of even giving birth in the hospitals is wrong. No woman is supposed to be laying on her back on the hospital bed. That goes against gravity. And they didn't do that in scriptures. That's why they had midwives. Our women stoop down upon the knees of the midwife, like sitting down in the seat. And they had that bucket, they had that water ready for them. For that youth just to come on down in there naturally, not with a bunch of light flashing on the child. No. So that the process is even done wrong. And we're going in there, like I said, for this, for that. And the mighty Yah prophesied these things. In the book of Deuteronomy 28 chapter, he told us all these things before what happened. In the book of Deuteronomy 28 chapter, that's how you know this book is speaking about the black man in America. All you got to do is go to this chapter. And the mighty Yah said in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, he says in the, let's reading at the 17th verse, that cursed shall be thy basket in thy store. Because a lot of us are not eating right to begin with. And I'm speaking about our people. They eating everything that they eyes can see. And they eyes get bigger than their belly. And as a result, the man y'all say, yo, I'm gonna curse your basket. And as a result of you eating certain things, it's affecting your not only your immune system, your body as a whole. We eating so many hybrids, so many genetically modified organisms. We eat meats that's totally defiled. And Yah is not a respecter of persons when it comes to his law. He don't care if you're a prophet or a king. You eat wrong, you're going to be a recipient of something. We had a great king called King Hezekiah. Now, they don't say what he was eating, what he was not eating, but I do know he was sick. He had a boil. And the prophet, and Yah sent the prophet Isaiah to King Hezekiah. Because Yah told King Hezekiah, set your house in order, you're going to die. And King Hezekiah, he cried, he got on the wall, he just cried to Yah. And he said, Yah, you know I've been serving you faithfully. And he cried, he said, man, my heart is perfect towards you. And Yah heard his prayer. He seen his tears. So what did I do? Yah sent a prophet to him and told him, hey, check this out, King. You ain't going to die. The mighty Yah going to give you 15 more years added to your life. And then he healed him of his disease. Because that's all it is a dysfunction, a disease. And he put whatever he got, the herb, and laid it on his boil, and he was healed. So what am I saying in saying that? We got to get back to the herbs and leave modern day medicine alone. Leave these hospitals alone, because all they're going to do, if you go in there and make it out alive, it give you radiation, give you chemo, or give you a pill to take. And what they're going to do, they're going to say, hey, you take this. It might help you here, but it might affect your liver. You take this right here, you might live, but might be on dialysis, might cause this, affect your kidneys. Might get gout, might get water in your body. This man, he has a license to practice medicine. So you got to get back to the herbs, get back to eating right. Get your body back in an alkaline state to prevent so-called diseases from even entering. Got to. Because we're being targeted by every way. The food, the water system is polluted. And it's bad. It is really bad right now for Israel. And like I said, Israelite nation, we in cold red. And for us all living together as a community with Torah and Messianic, I have no problem with living together, because you might be living together with one of your relatives. But as a Torah leader, as a head, I'm not going to have nobody bringing no pork in my house. I'm not going to have nobody defiling the Shabbat day. You got to have rules and regulations. So if we all going to come together, we got to come together under the banner of the Most High, under his commandments, under his laws. And there is no room for the Christ of the New Testament under that banner. And we just adhere to the 10 commandments, that right there. And I'm not going to be with somebody that's enticing people to serve another God. That's not going to happen. Not with me. So some rules and things got to be set forth straight before that even happen. In this time that I'm living in now, because I don't want the wrath of Yah to come upon me personally. So as the governor of that house, of my house, I allow in what and what I don't, I let it be known before they even come in. Because you can't have confusion going on in your house, in any house. So those that heard this can take it as you wish. You cannot. Children can't be seeing somebody worshiping Christ and another person worshiping Yah. They're saying two different messages. And we can't do that. We just can't do that. And I'll read the comments. Anybody have any comments? I'll read the comments. Versus America is the only country with a pyramid on their currency. It's just a sign to get ready. Keep Torah, clean your diet, and keep the Moedim. I agree. I agree with that. You're right. Absolutely right. Just be ready. And that's my whole thing for the whole nation of Israel. Ready, you Torah, just be ready. Ready, New Testament. And I love my New Testament family, my Muslim family, my Christian. Just be ready. That's all. So any other questions or comments on what I brought forth today by anyone? Just go right ahead. Right ahead. Dealt with free will, dealt with Esau and Jacob, dealt with laws of cleanliness. My brother spoke about the 400 years. Yes, we know, Brother Oliver, if you're saying people can't distinguish between the two, what, Esau and Jacob? Is that what you're referring to? Because I watched that video. But I'm going by what scriptures teach. And nowhere in scriptures in Torah was Esau an albino. Nowhere. Nowhere at all. It said he was red in the Hebrew, that is not white. He didn't look like a leper. Nowhere. You in the bed? Praise somebody, yeah, get some rest. Get some rest. But yeah, praise the mighty Yah for his mercy endures forever. And I'm going to end the program right now at this time. But I thank everyone for tuning in and taking the time out to listen. And if you miss any of this broadcast, you can tune in later and watch the whole thing from beginning to end. But with that being said, for my brothers on YouTube, brothers and sisters, my brothers and sisters on Facebook, this is your Israel. Bidding you, may Yah bless thee and keep thee. May Yah make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. May the mighty Yah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Hallelujah. 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 Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous and Yah is holy. And let the mighty Yah be glorified. May you all have a blessed, wonderful Shabbat. Enjoy in this rest. Hope you prepared that which you're supposed to have prepared on the 6th day. Eat well, drink well, and praise the King from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same. And with that being said, I bid you all Shabbat Shalom.